events start happening over the next 10 minutes.
Hey everyone, I know this is early, but SpaceX. Nick hasn't even shown up yet, so
Now,
we're
while we
going
wait for the arm to begin
super,
moving,
super duper
Early
early.
Falcon 9 Dragon
But
continue to be go. Obviously, we've completed the poll.
if you are not
Rings
aware,
continue to be go for
SpaceX
launch.
is
They're
sending
monitoring
the next
clearance area
Dragon
around the
up.
pad.
They're
And there
removing
goes the arm
the
beginning to
arm
move. The view
from
from on top of the fixed service structure.
yeah, and it's manned,
And the weather
obviously, with
continues to be
4
acceptable for launch as
astronauts.
we get ever closer.
So yeah, we're gonna hang out and watch this while I prep for the show and while we wait for Nick. Hey, who's in here? Somebody is in
Nice
here
view
other
from the
than me.
camera inside the White Room. The arm
I don't
moves
know. I'm
away
just
from
a
Dragon.
space nerd. So, yeah. Sorry, gotta get rid of that banner. There we go. So yeah, this is technically the pre-show of the GameHounds podcast. We normally don't start this early. In fact, it's probably freaking out a lot of people that we're 15 minutes early. But oh man, I know that sound so well. It sounds like a jet bridge. That sound brings back total memories. So how are you? I'm prepping the show.
The clock continues to
watching this and wanted to join in.
We're now
you
at
join us
T-minus
with it.
42 minutes mark on the dot.
Crew axis arm retraction is complete.
As you just heard there, that crew axis arm is now completely stowed. It is
Question.
now in the launch position. Of course,
Whoever is in here, there's one person in here.
To clear the
Question.
way for Falcon 9 to lift off.
Would you?
Now, next up, we'll hear the call out that the launch escape system is going to be armed,
right,
and from there we'll hear that Falcon 9 propellant load will also begin.
Dragon SpaceX, you are go for Section 6. Close visors and arm launch escape system.
Would you want to get on anything that needed a launch escape system? There we go. Visors down, baby.
We saw our AX2 crew members
to the moon.
Brand new room
closer to the moon.
In the Falcon support building just about 3 hours ago. They also got their tablets.
SpaceX Dragon. Visors are closed, and we're arming the launch escape system now.
There we go. So, would you get on a spaceship made by Elon Musk? I say this as a proud Tesla owner.
At that point, the crew took one last ride.
I would. I'd wait until the first crash, and then I would take it.
After getting buckled in, the spacecraft hatch was closed. The closeout technicians
when
the pad, leaving just the crew members inside the Dragon vehicle.
Oh man, this would be the moment of terror for me to realize that I am sitting on the top of a
system that basically gives the crew options, a pathway to safety through all phases to orbit. We take
except on the ground where it explodes. I know I shouldn't talk about this. This is bad luck to talk about that.
We take every measure possible to ensure that the crew has options.
But
paramount. So there we just got that confirmation.
It reminds me of this story my mom used to tell me about when she would go into surgery. Is she would always ask the surgeon, when was the last time you lost someone on the table doing a surgery? And she didn't trust any surgeon who said, I'd never lost anybody on the table. Because she's always said she wanted the guy who had just lost someone on the table. Like she wanted to be the very next one, because the very next one, that surgeon would be paying 100% attention. He would be wide awake and watching everything. It's when you haven't had an accident, that's when you get a little complacent. So I would wait until after the first disaster on SpaceX. Then I would get on it.
That person is responsible for mission success, and they are in charge of the room. Today's mission director is Ken Gamerick. Other positions are focused on things like software, propulsion, navigation, avionics, life support systems, and communications with ground segments, as we've heard those kind of called out throughout the day so far.
Things you notice when you own a Tesla, I think the boots are made of the same stuff that my seats are made out of. It looks exactly like the seats on my Tesla. It wouldn't surprise me.
CORE.
It's kind of stuff that
Today's SpaceX core
Elon would do.
is Arthur Burialt. We've heard him a number of times through.
And
the launch
honestly, the rest of the
countdown.
suit looks very much
SpaceX
like the
team
stuff
members
that
will
the
also,
white seats are made out
rotate
of.
and hand
By the
off
way, Tesla
coverage to ensure that
Tesla
we
white
have
seats
people
are
on console
unbelievably like you
24/7,
don't understand
for
how
the crew
white can be until you
and
see a
drag it for
Tesla
the
white.
entire duration of the mission, including all the way through splashdown.
And for Axiom Space, the
Alright.
teams in Houston are utilizing Axiom Mission Control Center, an officially certified control center. From this secure facility, teams have live access to voice, video, and data from the
Who are the
ISS,
guys in the
and can
back
work alongside their
hanging
NASA
out at the craft
counterparts to
table?
run on-orbit operations and monitor
They're
every
a
aspect
bunch of
mission in real
yokels.
time. This room is led by what we call the Axle, or the
They're
Axiom
like
Operations
lottery
Team.
winners,
And
like
around the room are
woohoo!
positions for
Back there
officers
slurping
responsible
down
for
the Bud
research,
Lights.
communications, medical, integration and stowage, and timeline
Everybody
operations.
else there is a scientist.
This is a significant
Who's the
step
not
in partnering
scientist
to
in
expand
this
access to
picture?
low Earth
Who's
orbit,
the not
as this is only
scientist
the
in the
development
back
ground
with the
segment
Bud
partner
Light?
for the ISS program. And through this
and
facility,
and
we
the
are
belly
enabling our
tees?
customers and the global community a front row seat to the work being
Yeah,
done on space.
one of them is not. One of these things is
We
not
are
like
now
the other.
T-minus 37 minutes and 31 seconds. Whew, from the second all-private astronaut mission to
Even
the
the
International Space
even the
Station, and the
commentators
first
are
for
laughing
any
about that.
representatives from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Falcon
Some
9
of those
propellant
people
loading begins
went
at
to
T-minus
8 to 12
35
years of
minutes.
college to be
RT1
sitting where
fuel
they are
loading
right
is
now.
underway on both
4 of them
S1
have
and
not.
S2.
Guess which 4?
And LOX loading is underway
Falcon
on
9 tanks
S1.
will be venting for propellant load. Expect loud venting.
All right, here comes the propellant. This is the kind of the
With
I don't want to say an
propellant load,
oh
let's go
shit
check in
moment
with
for me,
John
but this would be the oh shit moment for me is when the propellant was coming in,
John
'cause
Isberger here from the webcast desk.
that's when it
Hawthorne,
gets a little on the
California,
like
SpaceX headquarters.
now you're sitting on
Inside
dynamite.
37 minutes, counting down. We have completed the go no go poll for propellant load and for launch. We've just heard a call out.
Hey, C-Wraith, you're here.
That's one of the states in propellant
He was
load.
watching an anime
Please
episode
major
and didn't
activity
realize
will
it. Yeah,
occur
it doesn't
at
really
T
show it
minus
started
35
early.
minutes
It's just
when
it's
propellant loading will
it's
physically
SpaceX.
begin
I
onto the vehicle.
you know, I'm a space nerd,
Now
so
we'll start
figure
with
if anybody wants to
RT1
watch it with me, we
kerosene
can.
fuel loading onto both the first and second stages, and we'll be loading liquid oxygen onto the first stage of Falcon 9.
I'm not
Now,
gonna
in order to
lie. I'm a
fly
little
inside
sad that
Falcon
I
9,
am as
Dragon
old
needs
as I
its
am
fuel and oxidizer.
because I
Dragon
really
capsule you can see
envy
here on
all
the
of
screen,
you that are in
it
your
uses a
20s and 30s right now,
monomethylhydrazine called
because the
MMH.
chance of
That's the
me
fuel
living
on
long
board the
enough
Dragon.
to
Then
be,
nitrogen
and still be in
tetroxide,
good
or
enough shape
NGO, is the
physically to be
oxidizer.
able to take that
Together,
trip
these propellants feed the
is
Draco engines that
pretty
maneuver
low.
Dragon on orbit,
I
as
probably
well as
won't
the
live
8
that
Super
long.
Draco
You
engines
probably
that will
will.
power the
And the
launch escape
idea
system
that you
in the case
could
of an abort
afford a trip
scenario.
into space,
Now, again,
I
coming up in about
truly
30
envy you.
seconds, we will begin
I truly,
fueling
truly
on the
wish
Falcon
that
9.
I
That
will
means
live
right
that long.
now that
I
those
don't
8
think I
Super
will. And if
Draco
I do, I
engines
don't think that I'll
inside
be in
Crew
a
Dragon are ready,
position or a
if
state that
needed,
you can
to
launch
launch
me
the
into
capsule
space and
away
I
from the
wouldn't
Falcon 9 rocket in an instant,
fall apart.
should there be any kind
Hey,
of
we got Nick in the
emergency
room.
associated with the rocket or the pad. But currently, 35 minutes, 18 seconds and counting. Everything continues to look good.
You grew up
Falcon 9
watching
and
Real
Dragon.
Genius. I'd strive to be
Thank you,
that
John.
kind of
On
scientist.
the AX-1
The
flight
one
and
that puts
during our
what was
live
it,
broadcast for that
liquid
mission,
nitrogen
there was a
in
special
the
emphasis
hallway
on the
so everybody can
enriched
ice
research
skate?
effort
Yeah,
for the
me too.
Translational Research Institute for Space Health. As the name
Propellant
suggests,
load has started.
Nick got a haircut. Hey, Nick.
okay, it sounds like a propellant load has started. As for Trish, as the name suggests,
I
this
wish
is a
Goalie
broad
was
effort aimed
around
at
so that he
ensuring
could make a
resilience and
propellant
are
load
preparing for
joke.
human health.
Because
This
you
effort
know
that
he would.
needs
I'm
astronauts
not that
and
smart
private
or dirty.
astronauts can both participate.
Oh yeah, there is a
Effectively, life
solid
just a few
joke
hundred
there.
miles above Earth poses some unique challenges that we're still unlocking the secrets to even after 60 plus years of humans in space. Here is a bit more on the progress made during
That's
AX1
crazy.
and what's ahead for our participation in this critical research effort.
Humans, like
Thank you for joining
I
us,
was
Dr. Fogarty and
alive
Dr. Takeda from Trish, the
when
Translational Research Institute for Space Health.
before
Let's start with
humans
an
had been
easy
on the moon.
question. What exactly
Not by
is
much,
Trish?
just by a couple of months, but still.
Yes, Trish. Trish is
Huh,
a consortium
really?
between Baylor
Yep.
College of Medicine,
Because let's see,
MIT,
the
and
moon.
Caltech.
let's see.
We are funded by
First
NASA to
moon
relentlessly
landing.
and innovatively
So
solve the risks
Apollo
of space
19,
exploration
yep,
and use a variety of ways to
was
get there,
July
including
20th,
emergency flight.
1969.
What are the goals of the research
I was
being
born in
conducted for
December
ASU
1966,
through
so I was
Trish?
2.5.
That is a great question.
And I
The research that we're
very,
conducting today
very,
is to,
very
being
much
highly prioritized
remember,
to solve the
like
most
one of
important
my
risks of
earlier
human spaceflight as we are
memories
planning to go
of
to the
as like
moon
a
and going to
baby
other planets.
baby
So all of these
was my
projects have been
parents watching
custom made
two
and
things:
designed
the
to be
moon
easy to
landing,
collect, to take the
and
secret time,
I
and to take
remember my
least
mother
mass power
being
and volume.
glued to the
And an example
television
is the
and
scheme that I sent
ironing
here
every
before.
day,
I wanted this
watching
to
the
each of the crew
Watergate
members,
trials.
and it includes most of the
Oh.
hardware that we
I
need to collect
really
sources of
remember
data,
that. Like,
sensory
don't
motor that
mess
is
with
balanced
mom.
changes in
She's
space,
watching
some
Watergate.
surveys,
And she would
and
be
also how the facility is used in
ironing, and I'd be
space.
sitting in the
So all of
crib,
these
and I'd be
are highly, again,
ironing, and she'd
customized
be
for the
watching
missions we are
Watergate. And I knew that
Tell
it's
me
like,
about the
okay, this is
framework for this
important.
research.
Don't mess
How
with
is
mom.
this set up to
Like,
enable
don't
new
like
data
demand
for new
stuff because
flyers?
she'd yell at you.
Yes, so the Expand program at Trish has two main elements to its framework to accomplish the goals that were just set out by Dr. Yerketa. So we
I
have
think
essential
I think
measures, which
Kennedy
have
was killed
been
before I
harmonized with
died.
NASA's standard measures to make sure that we're collecting the same type of data on every crew member. So we can compare across people, across different missions to really maximize
Kennedy
the
died, yeah,
value.
1963.
And then
So
we have
Kennedy
exploratory
died 3
studies
years
as the
before I was
second part of
born,
the
and
framework. And this
went to
is
the
where
moon
the known
3 years
unknowns,
after
the
I was
questions
born.
we have about spaceflight or the risks
2.5 years.
have hypotheses generated, and we get to test them.
How does the
So
research apply
hearing
to
that,
those of us on Earth? I mean,
it's
some
funny
of us
because
are
it
maybe never
reminds
going to be
me
leaving
How
of
old
this
I
planet.
am compared to
Why
you?
do we care about
no,
this
no.
kind of work? Dr. Fogarty, Dr.
In
Yuketa?
my head,
Yeah,
those
this
are
is where
like,
things get really
yeah,
exciting.
they're like the
So
same
due to the
thing,
constraints of
right? They
spaceflight,
took place,
we
within
have
a
to
week of
really
each other.
focus
No,
on creating an
no, that was the
integrated,
thing. Kennedy said
holistic
we will
solution. So
go
we
to the
can't have
moon, and
individual
everybody was
solutions for every
like, "Are
problem.
you
Those
crazy? Are
constraints
you
create a
high?"
really
Yeah,
ideal
but
And
environment to
that
bring
the
humans
whole
back to
government
Earth
launched
to put
all,
healthcare
as
in
much as
people's
it could
hands.
spare,
We believe
all
that these
of
are going to
its
increase healthcare
best
equity,
brains,
the
best
access
minds,
to
all the
healthcare,
money
the
that it
quality of
could,
healthcare,
just
which then
threw
results
it
in
at
improved
NASA
health outcomes.
and
How
managed
does
to
this
get to the
mission
moon
aims
in
to
6
add
years
to the
from
range of
nothing,
data?
which is,
That
considering
is a
that
great
time,
question. In the last
unbelievable,
61 plus years of human
phenomenal,
spaceflight,
like
roughly only
crazy that we were
600
able to
different
do
people have
that.
flown into space. And if we look
It's
at the
taken
diversity of
SpaceX
these,
more
mostly
than
are
6 years.
male boy
SpaceX
pilots.
has yet to
And
put a
what we're
man on
seeing
the
with
moon
commercial spaceflight is
now when we
more
have
diverse population.
supercomputers.
We're
This was
seeing
back
people
then
from
when we
all
didn't
ages,
have
younger and
supercomputers.
older,
It's
Uh-huh.
converted to
insane
your
what we did
government
and how
astronauts.
quickly we did
We're
it.
also seeing
But
people
yeah, he
from
was
multiple
killed
demographics,
3 years before
backgrounds,
we actually,
training,
6 years before we
education,
actually made it to
and
the
also
moon.
people with medical
Yeah,
conditions.
yeah. I was gonna
So if
say it
we
reminds me
keep
of
growing this
like
database
the
of
kind of
civilians
anecdote
flying into
that
space, we will have all of
Cleopatra
those we need
and
to make
the construction of the
most humans being
pyramids
able to
Mhm.
fly
were
into
like
space,
1,000 years
stay
apart.
for their
They were,
longer,
yeah.
and enjoy the experience.
Ptolemy
Like,
and
Thanks so
Cleopatra were
much for
1,000
joining
years
us. I
apart.
look
yeah,
forward to
and it's
watching
like,
the launch with you
oh,
and
when you
seeing
think
what
about it, you're like, oh yeah, history.
their data.
It's
It's
the thing that
big.
happened, but yeah, it's big.
It's really long.
Just under
It's
30 minutes
long,
from the
and
launch
like there's a
of the
long
X2
time
mission.
between the
It has
big
taken an
historical events
enormous
that
effort from an
you learn
incredibly
about.
Yep.
dedicated and hardworking
And the
team to
things
get
that
to this
happen at
moment.
the same time
Knowing
that you
that not
think of being
everyone can be here
separate
to witness
having
it, we
happened at
forget to
the
share a
same,
message with the
near
crew.
each other. And I
We
can't
asked
think of
the team to
anything
record some words
specific,
for this moment.
but
As
one
the
of the things my
countdown
dad
sounds
always wanted to
continues,
do
here
is he
are
wanted
two
to
messages
make
from
a
those across the
timeline
Axiom
of
family.
history, like major history, so that you could see how far things that you equate to each other were from each other, and then how close other things that were unrelated to each other happened at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Insane the things that like that stuff happened, like things that you think are way older than they were aren't as old as they were. Oh, that kid who gave the crack to the kid.
The kid, what?
Oh, she was like, she had that look. She had the crazy girlfriend look for a second. Don't pick your nose. Don't pick your nose.
To Peggy, our notorious space ninja, John, aka Loki, to Ali, who's also known as Slayer, and then to Rihanna, our very own ray of sunshine. Wishing you an amazing launch today.
I don't know if I was an astronaut that I'd want to see all that. Two reasons. One, I would totally fog up my my visor.
Hmm.
And two, it sounds like all of them are like, it was nice knowing you. Like this could be the last thing I hear from my family and from my coworkers.
I mean, it totally could be.
Very much more, like way more likely than getting in your car and going, on a freeway.
Especially what we just talked about. Is this a SpaceX launch?
This is SpaceX launch.
Okay, yeah, I'd be a little nervous.
We were talking about how like would you get in a spacecraft that was built by Elon Musk?
I mean, I'm already hesitant getting in a car built by Elon Musk.
And you've driven one.
Uh-huh.
We're proud of you and good luck.
Yeah, Nick was the first person after me to have driven that car. Like the car had what? 15 miles on it, 16 miles on it.
However far it was from the dealership to my apartment.
Yeah. Yeah. That's probably the newest car you might ever drive unless you buy one yourself.
Oh, yeah, it's probably going to be the newest car I drive for a long time.
By the way, I love that car. It's every time I drive it, it is a joy. I spent yesterday driving a U-Haul up to Clear Lake, and I was remarking, like, oh God, how do people drive combustion engines? It's like.
Was it the combustion engine or was it just the U-Haul truck?
No, it was a combustion engine. I felt the same way. Like I had to move my vibe from one side of the street to the other to make room for the U-Haul. And I got in the vibe and it's like, oh God, this thing is such a dinosaur. And I went from being like, I love this car to, oh, what a dinosaur this car is.
A big thanks to all those who contributed to those videos and everyone behind the crew today. A lot of really excited teams out there. And a special thanks to Kelly Girardi and the Space Gal, Emily Calandrelli, both big STEAM education advocates who you just saw as well. They dedicate their influence.
So yeah, 26 minutes. I came in just after they did the emergency instructions, like the things that they need to do, like they're essentially safety instructions. Of like the things you have to do if we're going to abort this mission. This is when you can abort it, and this is how you say the abort. And they all know this stuff, but they, it's like the safety instructions from the command. I guess I would call it not Houston. It's not Houston, but yeah, it's like the command central.
Together stand at about 215 feet, which is almost 30 feet taller than the Leaning Tower of Pisa in Italy. Falcon 9 is a reusable two-stage rocket.
So not quite as tall as a football field.
Two rockets in one. The first stage
it's like to the 20-yard line.
The first stage is the bottom 2/3 of the vehicle. Today's booster is flying for the first.
So yeah, this is the first stage.
Large bottom white portion and the middle black portion. So that's what we mean when we say the booster. The first stage is responsible for accelerating Falcon and Dragon through the Earth's atmosphere.
That's the stuff that usually ends up falling off way too early when I'm playing Kerbal. That's the one that ends up falling over and exploding. All I can think of is Kerbal's face program.
That's not good.
This is not. No. Have you ever played Kerbal?
I've watched a lot of it.
I once got it into space. And I spent a long time trying, watching things just take off and then all of a sudden just wiggle, parts of it wiggling that shouldn't be wiggling. And it's
you're like, wait, why is that wiggling?
I made a horrible decision. Fucking typical Florida. Look at that. That's a wasp. That is a full-on wasp attacking the camera. We make a lot of fun of Australia about how everything in Australia is trying to kill you. Florida's not that far off.
Oh yeah.
Florida's like the Australia of the United States when it comes to things trying to murder you at all time, like the murder wasp attacking the NASA camera. We just witnessed.
And that ignites after the first stage separates.
There you go. There is the liquid oxygen coming in to the booster.
To power the vehicle out of the Earth's atmosphere and through the forces of gravity, the second stage is specifically designed to operate in the vacuum of space. The
That's the
second
stage.
stage powers the Dragon spacecraft to its targeted drop-off orbit. The Dragon spacecraft itself is capable of carrying up to 7 passengers to and from Earth orbit
Hang on.
and beyond.
Oh, really?
as
They
you've been
can
seeing
carry
with
7,
those
but they only
few
have
inside
4.
the capsule, today we're carrying 4
But does
people,
it have a
we have
fart
4
feature?
members
That's
of
what
the
I want to
Dragon
know.
2 crew. It's the first
How
private
much you want to
spacecraft
bet there is a
with
fart
humans
feature in that
space
goddamn
and
capsule
the only
underneath the
spacecraft
seats?
currently flying that is capable of returning significant amounts of cargo to Earth.
Hey, we got
Like
Fighter
the
Race, who was the one that
Dragon
alerted me this is happening. We have
spacecraft
Florida
also
Man, the most dangerous creature of them all. Yeah, exactly.
particular,
Unlike
Dragon
Australia.
spacecraft.
Well, I don't know.
This is the Dragon
Australians, I mean,
3 that
I say
the
this with all the
AS2
love in the
are
world for
flying
Australia and
in
Chunder.
today. It previously supported
Australia
Crew 4
was
mission in April
essentially,
2020.
you know, is
Now we
is
are awaiting
their
our
their
T0 coming
genes
up in just
in
over
that
20
country
minutes
come
from now.
by and
Now,
large
operations teams are doing a
from
series of system
criminals,
checks
and
to make sure both
it's
Dragon and Falcon 9
you
are
can
ready for
tell.
launch. Let's take a look at what the
I mean,
ascent
some of
portion
them
of
have
the mission
evolved
will look like.
fasted, but some of them have
Once we
not.
hit T0,
They're all a
we have
little
Launch
yellow
Falcon
down
9 and
there.
Dragon lift off from historic pad 39A and make their ascent. Now, about 43 seconds into flight, Falcon 9's engines will throttle down to help pass through the period of maximum dynamic pressure on the rocket, what we typically refer to as
Hey, Chris, what is the
max.
highest
Worth
that
noting,
you
1%
have
max
been
fuel
in
going
an
supersonic,
aircraft?
faster than the
It's the
speed
highest
of
altitude.
sound.
If you aren't aware,
After,
Chris Salazar
throttle
is
up our
a
Merlin
pilot
engines once again.
for
From
Delta, I
there,
think.
at about 2.5 minutes into flight, we have a series
So
of
he's
3
got
events that happen in rapid
more
succession.
insight
First is
into
MECO, or main engine
flights
cutoff. This is
into
where all
you
5
know
Merlin engines will
air
cut off
travel
in
than
preparation
any of
for
us.
stage separation.
He's
That's
been
where,
at
as the name
43,000
suggests,
feet.
that
Where
first
is
stage detaches from the second stage.
where
With the first
what's
stage making its
when
way
does
southward,
the
we're
atmosphere?
landing as the second
Hey,
stage
thank you,
continues
No
on its journey
Mendes.
with the third event.
When does like the atmosphere when you officially get into space, is that 50,000 is when you're I want to think I knew this at one point when I was taking my
As stage 2 heads
when I
towards
was
its
getting my
targeted drop-off
license, my
orbit, stage 1 will
my
execute
SUAS
3 burns
license,
in
but
order
I
to
have
make its
since
way
not
back to Earth.
renewed it. So
The first is the boost back burn,
yeah,
where 3 of the
what
Merlin
altitude
1D
is
engines will
does space
reignite
begin?
and then shut down. This
What
helps to
10
head
feet.
the booster back to Cape Canaveral.
altitude
The
is
second burn,
space?
or the entry burn, helps facilitate stage
That
preparation
is
for
going
entry
to
back
be
into Earth's
50
atmosphere.
miles above. How is
About
it? How
90
many is it
seconds
feet?
after
What is it
Dragon
in
gets into
feet?
orbit, Falcon 9
In
will
feet?
then land back on Earth. The landing burn will
It's
bring the vehicle speed down rapidly in order to land
62
as
miles,
planned near the launch site
330,000 feet
today,
above
around
mean sea
8
level.
minutes into mission. I should say that actually happens about a minute prior to
Is
that
60,000
second
feet
cutoff.
considered
You're right,
space?
Kate. So as the first stage is
Let's see.
back on Earth, the second stage will cut off its single Merlin engine that was ignited
The
right before
Kármán
stage
line.
separation.
That's what it's
Once
called.
this happens, we wait for that
Kármán
Merlin
line is it?
confirmation of a
62
good
miles,
orbital
100
insertion.
kilometers.
Then Dragon will begin its
Doesn't really say
preparations
what
and
feet it is. I
separate
can't
from the
remember.
second stage.
70 or
As we
80,000
move
feet. Yeah,
into
there we
the
go.
second
Yeah,
stage present
80,000.
orbit, we ought to get that great view from the
So you were a little over
showing
halfway there.
Dragon with its 4-person crew drifting away from the second stage. Once Dragon
AC Ray says another kind of space game. Space Game Junkie recently recommended the Factory Puzzler Final Upgrade. Interesting.
The nose cone deploy sequence will initiate just before T plus 12 minutes and finish around T plus 15 minutes, which will expose Dragon's docking
well,
mechanism in advance.
Do you want to get to some gaming stuff while this goes?
Sure, I might as well.
It looks like this has another 20 minutes, unless you just want to vamp for 20 minutes.
I can vamp for 20 minutes. No, I really don't want to vamp for 20 minutes. So, yeah, what did you play? Anything?
Triangle strategy.
Triangle strategy. More triangle strategy. This does not surprise me. You really do love that game.
I do, and I'm getting close to the end.
Oh, really?
I'm getting very close to the end. I should finish it this week, ideally. And then I actually really want to play Star Wars.
The Jedi Survivor?
Jedi Survivor. I've heard enough good things about it. It's been long enough that they patched out all the early launch issues. That
yeah.
Yeah.
And I upgraded.
That's a good question. Will there be copyright problems with the space in the background?
I don't think so, because we are actually transforming this. It is a commentary channel. It's not like we're having a watch party and we're just watching it together. We're actually talking over the top of it. So it is fair use at this point.
Sure, but nothing that would launch a copyright strike cares about that.
Not true. Not necessarily. No, I mean, we have fought a copyright strike successfully. And it depends on the strike that they give us. If it's going to be like a strike, like the nuclear option strike, or if it is like a monetization strike. Now, we've had one nuclear strike, which was a really long time ago, so it's not even on our record anymore. And then we have, and that was from NBC, which I should have fought it, but just let it go because I knew it wasn't going to be a thing. Yeah, but that was when Facebook also banned us, but we're no longer on Facebook because fuck those guys over that. And then we did get one other like minor strike, like the low level strike that wasn't like a copyright strike. It was, not a nuclear strike. It was one of those like, hey, we claim copyright on this. And I had to push back and say, we showed a trailer of a game. No, of a television. It was for Wednesday. We showed the trailer for Wednesday, and I was giving a review of Wednesday. That is the definition of fair use, and they got rid of it. So they're getting, YouTube is getting better about that, but they're still not perfect, but they're getting better about this. But this is clearly fair use. We are making commentary. And also it is not, we're not just reproducing it in total. So, anyway, I upgraded my computer. I managed to do that. It was a decision between this and buying a whole new computer. I was able to upgrade to Catalina. I know that's ancient, but still.
Can you mute the video?
I can. Is it still talking over? I tried to put it as low as possible. There we go. Now it is muted.
So yeah, last we talked, I remember you were trying to upgrade your computer and either it would work and you wouldn't have to buy a new one, or it wouldn't work and you would have to buy a new one.
Right. That's where it came down to. So I very tentatively tried last night to upgrade it to Catalina, and it did work. And it took quite a long time because I had to do Catalina. I had to do the update to Catalina.
Is Catalina an OS?
It's an operating system. Yeah. I went from Mojave to Catalina.
Okay.
So now I can play Crusader Kings, which is great. Everything seems to be working slightly better.
Good.
But we'll see. But if you are in the, thank you. If you are in the Twitch channel still set to Chivalry 2, I will fix that. If you are in the mood for a Mac, I have found the seriously cheapest way that you can get a really, really good Mac. And not like a refurbished or used one. And let me switch our Twitch channel so that I will go to it. Essentially right now, the Mac Mini, the lowest level of Mac Mini is like crazy stupid cheap, like $599. Now I have an iMac, so that would mean that if I was to replace my that with a Mac Mini, it only has 256 gig hard drive, and it only 8 gigs of RAM. So that's not really enough for me. I'm a bit of a size whore when it comes to RAM. And so I, come on. Okay, there's my, hold on a second. Okay, cool. Now we're in. And so, if I was to get a Mac Mini, the chip would be new. The chips set would be very, very, very good, but it wouldn't be enough RAM, and it certainly wouldn't be enough hard drive. However, I have a solution, and I will show it to you as soon as I go to my video producer and change it from stand by. This takes more brain than it should, but it does. Come on. So there is a thing that is actually a game changer, because if you get a Mac Mini, I have an iMac, which means my computer and my screen are all in one. If I get a Mac Mini, I would have to get a monitor, and I just literally took, not even sold, I took to the hazardous waste like depository like 10 monitors because I didn't need them. And then of course now I need one, so I'm gonna have to get a new one. And there is a thing that is an absolute game changer for this. Come on, just proceed. Good Lord. Give me a second. I need to do this. Editing my stream info. Stand by. There we go. Now we're fixed. Okay. So you got the base Mac Mini, which is a small little teeny tiny box.
Okay.
And it is 8 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of hard drive. Not enough on either. You can, and once you buy it, you can't upgrade it, like upgrade the RAM. So you've got to buy the RAM on it that you're gonna have. So I can get away with 16. So that makes it an extra $100. Now, for me to get a 16 gig RAM with a 1 terabyte hard drive, which is the minimum I would need, it would cost me like $2,000 just for the Mini. Then I need to get a monitor. Then I only have 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports. It's just not quite there. However, I'm going to show you something. Let me pull this down real quick. It is the Mac Mini dock stand. Satechi is the name of the company. SATECHI. Satechi. All right. I'm going to show you something that is going to change all of the calculus that you make when you're buying a Mac. So like I said, $799, it's 16.
Or the fantasy where I buy a Mac.
Right. 16 gigs of RAM, 256 terabytes, or 256 gigs of hard drive of SSD, right? Not enough SSD, and only 2 FireWire, a Thunderbolt 4 ports. Not enough ports. There is this thing. Check this out. It is a stand that goes underneath your Mac Mini, right? Come on, stop. Stand that goes underneath your Mac Mini. It has got 3 USBs, 1 more Thunderbolt, or sorry, that's a USB-C, and it's got a card reader, right? You just plug it into the back of your Mac Mini, and it sits on it like it was made for it, right? But here's where it gets cool. Oh, this is the $79 one. Stand by. I'm not showing you the cool one. This is the cool one. Here we go. All right. So yeah, same thing. Looks the same on the outside, right? Just sits there, does all, and it's got a instead of having the headphone jack in the back where it's awkward, it puts the headphone jack in the front. That right there would be worth it. Except this one allows you to put an SSD in the base, an internal SSD. So you could put a 1 or 2 or even 5 terabyte SSD in the base. And of course, these are going to be way cheaper than actually paying for either an external SSD or paying for it to be built into the Mac that you're getting. So you can essentially, for $799, $690, say $590, $699, get 16 bit hard drive. You add an extra $100 or $99 for this, so that makes it $799, and then like $125 it for a 1 terabyte of like a high quality 1 terabyte SSD, and you've got like essentially the most amazing deal ever and you get more ports. It's fantastic. So if I like built out my dream, I would end up with like it cost me $1,300 for something that would be equivalent to this. Whereas if I was to buy something that wasn't as good as this through Apple, it would cost me $1,200 just for the computer, not including the screen or anything like that. And that would be like with a curved screen that does, curved OLED screen, the whole 9 yards. So that's what I ended up doing instead of buying that was the decision. If I could not upgrade my iMac to Catalina, I would have had to pay $1,300 to get a whole new system. And then, of course, tear everything down and put it back together again, which would have been no fun. But Catalina worked. So we'll see how it goes. Seems to be working fine.
That's good.
Yeah. But if you're interested in getting a Mac, this thing right here, the Seichi stand and hub for Mac Mini with an SSD enclosure for $99, this is a game changer. This is going to it makes the cheapest Mac Mini very, 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 very much more powerful for a fairly low price. So yeah, that's that. So
how's the launch going?
That's what I'm going back to right now.
Yeah. Chunderbox makes a solid counterpoint.
Right.
That much money would buy me a great PC. Master race forever.
I have a great PC. That's not where I do my work. It's like my PC is my laptop, my PC laptop, which is very good, even better than what this is actually what I use for gaming, but not for like the rest of my life. The rest of my life is all Mac. There, so there we are. We're at T minus 7 minutes. Turn the volume back up.
Okay, yeah, because other than like I said, I'm still into triangle strategy, getting close to the end. Everything about that game remains really cool. In the beginning, it felt like the game was a little stingy with upgrade materials. And so it was kind of slow to upgrade my character's weapons, upgrade their abilities. But then when I realized, oh, this is actually a pretty long game, the stinginess makes sense because it's about stretching it out over the long run. And so now I'm getting to the point where my characters are starting to unlock really good abilities. They're starting to get really strong. And it's starting to feel like, I'm starting to like
starting to get the groove.
I'm sort of like see how I could manipulate item equipments and abilities to like make some really overpowered characters in a really cool way.
So you said you're almost done with it?
I think so. It feels like it. So I've at points through the game, you kind of make a decision that branches the story, and the game does a good job making those decisions feel really impactful. But I have been kind of looking at a guide, seeing, okay, what gets me the best ending? And so from there, I can see I'm 2 decisions away from the end.
Oh.
That doesn't mean I'm 2 chapters from the end. I'm probably more like 4 or 5 chapters, but I'm 2 major decisions from the end.
Got it. Is this a game that actually does make that the decisions you make do make a difference, or is this the illusion of choice?
I mean, it certainly makes a difference in the immediate future, because whenever you make one of those big decisions, the next battle you face will be different. So like recently I had to choose between whether to blow up a dam. I'm trying to invade the city. Either blow up a dam and flood the city to take out a bunch of guards, either sneak into the castle and try to take out their commanding officers, or blow up a bridge to separate the castle from the town and start a siege. Those are my 3 options. When I whichever one I choose, the next battle I do is going to be a consequence of that. It's going to be one of those options.
Right.
The next battle going forward is probably not that different.
Yeah.
So, you know, the overarching story kind of stays the same, but it's still like each of those decisions feels like a really big, tactical, important decision. Like, where am I going to invest my resources in this war? And it, even
there
though,
we go. It's separating.
Yep. Even though I know in the back of my mind that like these aren't huge consequential decisions, they still feel like it in the moment, which I think is a kudos to the game.
Yeah.
For creating that illusion, for succeeding in creating the illusion of choice. I think the illusion of choice is not bad. All games. Really? Look, the truth is all choice is an illusion. In not just in games.
That sounds very existential.
No. In video games, all choices are illusions because all choices eventually like lead back up to one of three endings, right? You're not even the biggest Quantic Dreams thing has like a couple set endings that every choice funnels into. Nothing is going to be all that different in the long run.
Yeah, I guess so.
And the good games make you forget that.
Yeah.
Just after T-2 minutes, at which point we'll have the £1 million.
All right, so we're going to switch over to what's going on here because now stuff's getting real. We're under 3 minutes.
Didn't SpaceX's last rocket blow up?
That wasn't SpaceX. That was somebody else. Chris, which was what was it? The one that blew up just recently? Hey, there's Vice in the chat room. Hey, you doing, Vice? Should have painted the Twitter logo.
Here at headquarters in Mission Control on the left-hand side, as well as the Axiom team from their own.
Leonard, best comment today. I dare anyone to beat that one. Is it?
Dragon SpaceX for weather. Looks like the system has cleared, and we're looking like.
Oh, okay, no. Okay, that's just. I was thinking that's liquid oxygen flying. I'm like, did it just start snowing?
We're letting them know that it appears the weather is going to avoid the area.
That is great news indeed.
All right, it's happening. That was a big question. Is the weather? Chris was even saying the weather looked kind of crappy.
It was SpaceX. The last rocket launch resulted in rapid unscheduled disassembly.
Launch load is complete.
Oh, that was the super heavy one they were testing.
Dragon is in auto idle.
Dropping in with a harder burn than the rocket. Yeah. Yeah, and now the one that blew up was not manned.
Yeah, but this one is.
Yes, this one is manned. It's got 4 people in it.
I imagine they must be pretty nervous.
Oh, fuck me, yes. Well, actually, I was having that conversation earlier. Is that this is the one that you want to be on? You want to be on the one right after they've had the explosion, because then they're being super careful. Thank you very much. You know, if this does, I mean, heaven forbid, if this does blow up, I'm going to feel really horrible about all the jokes that we've made. All right. So we're in 46 seconds.
Where is this supposed to go?
Dragon, SpaceX.
I think it's just orbit and then back.
Okay.
Dragon, copy. Go for launch.
All right.
T-minus 30 seconds.
I hope that's a drone. No, it's actually somebody. Yeah, no, it is. It might be a plane, but way the fuck off.
Yeah, they zoomed in.
Yeah.
T-minus 15.
Why they cheered when the rocket exploded? I will have to read that.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
Go with God,
5,
guys.
4, 3, 2.
I'm a little nervous.
1. Engines full power. And liftoff, Falcon 9. Go Axiom.
It's 1 Alpha.
Copy 1 Alpha.
Together we expand what is possible in low Earth orbit. Add Astra and Godspeed AX2.
I'm gonna watch it until the first stage separates. It's always my favorite part, seeing that happen.
I mean, yeah, your Kerbal rockets made it this far.
Yeah, my Kerbal rockets, several of them made it this far only. But they never looked quite this good. When they were
T plus 36 seconds.
There'd always be something like
into flight. A great view of Falcon 9 heading to space.
Power telemetry is nominal.
Stage 1
I would need defense
Power
undergarments at this
telemetry
point if I was in that
the
thing.
throttle bucket is the first stage is throttle down power on the Merlin engines in preparation for max Q.
Yeah, you'd have to catheterize me at this point to keep from accidents happening.
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
Faster than the speed of sound as we're getting great views from the first stage camera looking back at Kennedy Space Center and Complex 39A.
Stage 1 throttle up. Max Q.
We're out of the throttle bucket.
Stage 1 Bravo.
Copy, 1 Bravo.
We're at full power, and that call out 1 Bravo, that's another one of those abort modes. As we get higher and faster, the logic for Dragon, should a contingency occur, changes from
I love you,
stage
Ace.
Chill is underway.
Chill announcement says we're getting the turbo pump
I'm
on
really
the second
nervous.
stage engine cooled down in preparation for its light up coming up in just another minute from now.
I don't know. Everything seems to be going.
Yeah, well,
Fine.
everything always does go fine until it doesn't.
Again, great views
True.
looking back, and you can see the contrail as we left 39A and the shadow of the contrail against the cloud deck around Florida.
I always get really like a
we're
little bit
coming up
emotional whenever
Three
I
big
see
sequences and
the
a view
Earth
live
from
of
this
the
high.
crew inside Dragon.
Just because it makes me realize that
They're getting ready. We're going to get 3 events here.
how
Main engine cutoff,
stupid all of the
stage
wars and
1 throttle down.
arguments that we
and
have
then we're gonna
are
light
when
the
we're
second
a
stage
little
engine.
teeny
We've
tiny
heard the
blue
throttle down in preparation for
spot
stage
in space
separation.
and we're fighting over stupid bits of land that
Eco.
don't matter in the grand scheme of it all.
2 Alpha.
Stage separation confirmed.
Yes.
Copy, 2 Alpha.
Nice.
And back ignition.
Because that can be really dangerous, the
Stage one,
separation like that. It has to separate just perfectly because otherwise it could knock the
All
whole
right,
thing out of
stage
trajectory.
separation. We've lit
Yeah.
the second stage engine. The first stage is into the boost back burn, working its way back towards Cape Canaveral. Views on the left side, that's the first stage. Engines running as we come back to the launch site or the landing site. Second stage engine nozzle is visible on the right side as we're powering the Axiom 2 crew into low Earth orbit on the way to the International Space Station.
Oh, they were going to the ISS.
Oh, okay. They're actually going to space. Was this SpaceX's like actual first
Waiting for
No,
call
this
out.
is not.
Boost back
launch
burn is complete.
to
Chris,
the space
I'm
station?
glad I'm not the only one. It never gets old, and
Stage
it
one,
never
boost back
stops
shutdown.
from getting me just a little bit
Right on
teary-eyed.
time.
Like if I
First
wanted
stage
to let
completed the
myself
first of
cry,
3
I would
burns,
cry. I
heading
can
back
do it
to the
again, and I
landing
do it
site.
every time I watch.
Second
launch.
stage continuing
Oh,
on
jeez.
power and on trajectory.
What?
AC Wraith says
Acquisition
he
Yeah.
watched the
Bermuda.
Challenger explode in grade school and
Yeah.
then had
Head
the other kids in
northeast, the
class who
Bermuda
only saw the
ground
replay
station.
and
SpaceX trajectory
try to
nominal.
tell me what happened.
Bermuda is listening into the vehicle
Copy.
now.
Nominal
Yeah, I
trajectory.
watched that as well.
And the crew hears the call out of a nominal
bawled my eyes
trajectory.
out. I was
So
watching it.
4 minutes into flight,
We were watching
everything
it in
continuing to
a
go well. First stage heading back.
in a
And
restaurant in
there's the
San
crew on
Francisco,
the second stage,
Oh,
getting the ride into orbit
and
to
I
the space station.
just started sobbing uncontrollably. Wait till you see the main booster. Oh, the main booster lands? Because it used to be they just got rid of it and it's like, okay, space junk.
yeah. I think that was like
The whole thing?
SpaceX's big thing, right? Is that
Is
they're
that
trying
they
to
can reuse?
these,
Yeah.
these boosters instead of to make it a little cheaper
Yeah.
to get into space.
So most of you did not hear this earlier because you weren't on yet, but I really envy
Coming up,
all
we're waiting
of
for the
you who
next
are
trajectory
younger
call
than
out
me,
from
which
the
is pretty
guidance
much everybody,
officer.
especially if you're in your
SpaceX
20s and 30s.
trajectory nominal.
Envy
Love
the
to hear
crap
those
out of
words.
you.
A nominal trajectory for Dragon.
Copy. Nominal trajectory.
And maybe even a little bit of excitement in the crew's voice. Commander Peggy Whitson calling back down, hearing that call out from GNC of a nominal trajectory.
And I envy you because you
Left side of
have
the screen,
a
you can see the
significant
first stage.
chance of doing
It's
this
now beginning
yourself.
to orient itself so that
And
the
by the
engines are
time that
pointed
it
down
becomes
towards the
commercially
land as
viable,
we will be descending
especially for
towards
people
landing
like
zone
me as
1 in
opposed
Cape
to like
Canaveral.
bajillionaires,
The 4 titanium grid fins have all deployed.
I'm
They'll
not. I'm
help
going to be either
guide
dead
This
or
signal.
too old to be able
They'll
to do
guide the
something
first
like
stage
this.
through the
So
once
I
we get into
envy
the
you
atmosphere,
that you
following
will
the
see that happen in your
entry burn,
lifetime,
which
likely.
will be coming up here in
And I
another couple
likely
of
won't.
minutes.
So
On the right-hand side, the
enjoy
second
it.
stage
I
with the Dragon
wish I was
capsule
you.
on top, heading up the eastern seaboard of the U.S. We've just heard the call out of Boston. That's the New Hampshire tracking station. Has picked up
Oh,
the signal.
Chris says they're getting sonic
Dragon
booms now.
SpaceX trajectory nominal.
That must be very cool because
Yes, we
he's in
continue
Florida
to make
right
those
now.
call-outs that we want to
Oh,
hear.
cool.
Yeah,
They continue
yeah,
to
he can
come,
actually hear the sonic booms.
and the crew echoing them right back down.
He says they reuse the main
Good
orbital
comms with the
class
crew. We've
booster
been able to
either
bring
on
some
boat or on
live
land.
video shots from inside the capsule as they're headed to space.
Hey, let's not forget,
And there's another
Elon
view of
Musk
the crew.
launched his Tesla into space, which honestly is kind of cool.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
And there we heard that the startup burn for that stage 1 booster, you can see it there on the left-hand side of your screen, has now begun.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
And conclusion of that entry burn, that burn helps to slow the vehicle down as it re-enters the Earth's atmosphere. The first stage sees high drag, which scrubs roughly 70% of the velocity by the time
Dragon
that landing.
SpaceX trajectory
Well,
nominal.
Tenderbuck says, I'm still waiting for flying
Love to hear
cars like
that
the
call out.
Jetsons before I
Everything
call it a
Nominal
day.
trajectory.
You could have that. It could happen.
Beautiful view of planet Earth coming to us from the second stage views on the right-hand side.
Yeah, it is
Left-hand side,
crazy.
our first view of the Space Coast once again.
B3Z0 says crazy
This
how much
booster
junk is there,
attempting
and
a
it's
landing
visible
at
too.
LZ1.
Yeah.
Stage 1 transonic.
And thank God we're figuring out
That
this
booster's now
reusable
traveling
stuff
near the speed
before
of
it becomes
sound.
an issue.
I mean, it's
On a
already
view coming
kind
to
of
you
an
from one of
issue.
our tracking cameras.
It's just we don't go up there enough for
You can
it
see the
to
grid
be a
fins
crisis
actuating to help
issue.
steer the booster
Yeah,
down.
not yet, but
Stage 1 landing burn.
Stage 2 FTS has
come on,
saved.
don't block it. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it?
Standing by to
Stage 1 landing leg deploy.
How fucking cool is that? How fucking cool is that?
there you
Stage
can
1 landing confirmed.
That
you
is
can
so
see that
awesome.
first stage
That's impressive.
has
That's the most
landed
impressive
back
part.
at LZ1.
Ooh,
This is the
I am
first
getting
time
teary.
that
How
we
awesome
have
that is.
performed a land landing on a crew mission.
That is so awesome.
Coming up next will be second engine cutoff.
It is the best shit
That's
ever.
where after that engine cuts
Ooh,
off,
I am
second
teary
stage will
watching
coast
that.
for a few
Sorry,
minutes until
sorry.
Dragon is commanded to separate.
Stage 2 is in terminal guidance.
It and
We're
Nick
expecting
and I don't know if you
Seco
were
to
there
arrive in about
earlier
20
talking about it,
seconds.
but I was 2.5 when we landed on the moon. I'm old enough, and I'm not that old. I mean, I'm doing a gaming podcast that I
Commander
was
Peggy
alive
Whitson
before
continuing to
we
call
went
out
to
the
the
abort
moon
modes.
significantly, and I'm alive to be able to see this. It's just kind of amazing, and it's only going to get faster for you.
All right, on time shutdown of that second engine. Also confirming that the launch escape.
Oh, they're
system
happy
is
up in the
now
capsule.
disarmed.
All right, so
I'm sure they are.
Orbit insertion.
yeah, look at the
All
smiles.
right, and there's that call out. We can confirm good orbital insertion.
Copy. Nominal
Nice.
insertion.
Dragon SpaceX launch escape system disarmed.
We can see the crew playing with their
Dragon
harnesses
copy.
now that they are in 0G, which I think we just got a view of our 0G Stuffy.
They just have a little stuffed animal there that can float around. That's how you know you're
That's
in
how
space.
you know
So
that
it's
how they
done.
they're not faking it there.
Already, right after liftoff, I think we heard a laugh coming from Commander Peggy Whitson, which, being a NASA legend and one of the most decorated astronauts of all time, it's amazing to hear that even a space
Yeah,
veteran.
we are in
as
the future
she
now,
Signal Cape.
and it's only
Still
gonna
has
get
fun
you're only gonna get more of it from
at
here on
liftoff.
out.
No. See, this is just a video shot on a soundstage by Stanley Kubrick, who's not
Yes.
actually dead.
The next event that we
Yes.
have
The
coming up
government faked his
at
death so
around
that he could film
minutes
more
is
space
Dragon
station
separation.
excursions.
You know,
where
I
the
find it
Dragon
funny that Elon
spacecraft
Musk
and
is
trunk,
such a
so
crackpot,
collectively
but the
referred to
one
as the Dragon
thing, the
spacecraft, will
one
separate
conspiracy
from the
theory
second
he
stage.
doesn't believe is the moon landing conspiracy theory.
Acquisition only limit.
AC Race says
After that
flying cars are
separation,
easy. It's the fact that we
we
lack
will begin to
infrastructure and our
deploy the
drivers
nose
can't be
cone,
trusted in 2D,
which
let alone
exposes
3D.
the
That's a good
forward
point.
Got a
bulkhead
point there.
thrusters as well as the
If a
forward
Gran
hatch.
Turismo has taught us anything, Midnight Club has taught us
Forward
anything.
hatch is
Do
what
not give
the
us anything that
capsule
can even
utilizes to
remotely
autonomously dock to the
get more
International
dangerous
Space
than what we
Station.
already have.
Mario Kart.
B3Z0. I know Mario Kart. Good Lord. I wonder when they will get to it. I wonder when
Going from left
we'll
to
get to it
right.
when it lands. Is it
Everyone's having
like a
fun,
danger?
clearly.
Isn't
We have mission specialist
isn't it like
Rayana
dangerous
Barnawi.
when it lands? Like
To
what
the right
if it
of
would explode?
her
I think
is
that
pilot John Schaffner.
I mean
Then we have Commander
where it
Peggy
lands is
Whitson,
exactly
and on the
where it
far
took
right,
off
mission
from.
specialist
So the
Ali
area
Al-Qani.
where it has to land, and I think you're talking about the landing of the
We can
first
see
stage of
that
the rocket.
the excess strap
Where it's landing is where it took
on
off
some
from.
of the harnesses,
So
as well
it's
as
no
the
more
writing
dangerous
utensil
at it
for their
exploding
tablets.
there than if the whole thing
They
exploded, and
continue to
they
play around with
absolutely
as
have
they
preparations for
are
that. I mean, it's not
experiencing
like it's an uncommon
zero G
I should say
for
it's
the first
unheard of
time. At
occurrence
least we
that
can say
What
that
is-
for
a
3 of the
spaceship
4
explodes on the pad.
astronauts on board
Do you
today.
know what their shuttle is like? Because they don't have the shuttle. And so they're not going to come in and land like an airplane, like the shuttle
We are
used to.
standing by
Do they do
for
it? Do they do
Dragon separation,
a sea
which is expected to occur in the next
a
few
water
seconds.
landing for the capsule when it comes back in? Do you know?
I don't
Chris?
know.
Chris would know.
Chris would know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm
But
asking.
I assume they're using a capsule because there wasn't any type of shuttle
There
thing
you
on
can see
the
live on your
on the
screen that
rocket.
Dragon trunk and capsule. That's a really cool view. That's actually
Yeah, Chris says sea landing.
A very great flight. Wish you safe travels. And a few words from our chief engineer as well.
Thanks for putting your trust in the Falcon 9 team. Hope you enjoyed the ride to space. Have a great trip on Dragon. Welcome home to Zero G, Peggy.
That was SpaceX Chief Engineer Bill
Happy to be
Gerstenmaier.
here. It was a phenomenal ride.
Okay, so Dragon is the capsule.
Right.
Make sure you share the joy of Zero G with your crew.
AC Rafe
We
is
will do
making an
that.
anime joke that like 2% of people will get.
I want to know if they brought platinum with them,
Already
or
you
so
can
Dr.
see
Stone can
Dragon's
reverse our
Draco
petrification
thrusters
3,700
activating.
years from now. Yeah,
Well, see,
that's one even I don't get.
Well, see, I was thinking of like making a Cloverfield paradox joke, but then even less people would get that.
Dragon SpaceX, nominal dehumidifier activation and surface section Draco checkouts. Nose cone deploy is in progress. Hooks are opening.
Wow, using touch screens?
Yeah. Well,
Dragon
why
capsule.
not?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
probably
it's funny.
there to
My
let us
my
know
vision of
that
like a
the
space
hooks,
capsule
there
is still
are
a bunch
two
of
sets of
switches.
yeah, you're
Two
still
sets of
stuck in the
hooks that
Apollo
are
days.
now
Mhm.
disengaging.
It's like, oh
And
wait,
once
that's
that
right.
is
They can do
complete, we are
touch
able
screens.
Yeah,
Why
to
wouldn't they?
deploy,
It looks like
open the
a
nose
Tesla.
cone.
I mean, I'm not joking. I said that the boots
No,
that
that
they're
doesn't look.
wearing look like that, like they're
You should
made
see
out of the
that nose
same
cone
stuff as the
deploy
seats of my Tesla.
in about a
That
minute.
could be. The screens look a lot better than the Teslas.
How dare
The
you?
great
I'm
view
offended.
on the right-hand side of your
There's
screen
3 of them.
from the Falcon 9 second stage.
You can get a
looking
Tesla with
at
2 screens, one in the front, one in the back.
Dragon Freedom capsule.
The back seat can have its own screen.
I want
Of
more
course,
in
the
front of
crew
me.
on the left-hand
You want
side.
okay.
I want a
playfully,
dashboard. I missed the
acclimating to
dashboard.
their new zero
That was
G
the one
there.
thing that freaked me out about.
The Ionic 5 has the dashboard.
See the
Chris
zero
says
G
there's a website
indicator
that SpaceX made that lets you fly the
in
Dragon
the
and dock it
background.
with the ISS.
And I love this view.
Oh.
This view is over the shoulders
How
of
badly can you
Commander Peggy
fail?
Whitson, who
Yeah,
here is
that's
on the left-hand
Kerbal
side,
Space
the left
Program
seat,
like
Okay,
times
you know what?
11.
pilot John
I
Schaffner
think
is on the
it's a
right seat
shame
here,
that Kerbal
looking
Space
at
Program
what they're looking
2
at.
hit
These
such
are the
development
crew
hell
display
and never
panels
came
that
out.
they utilize in flight
Because
to track
that is the
which thrusters
perfect
are firing,
like
what phase
marketing
of the
opportunity
mission
for
that they are
SpaceX,
in.
right?
Yeah,
As
it
you can
is.
see, where they are around the globe.
They could get so much goodwill by like, hey, here's our rocket in Kerbal.
Yeah.
Use it.
Yeah.
That would be such a cool. even if they don't, I'm sure someone would mod that in.
Yep.
But like that would be a cool thing to play around with. Actually, I'm sure probably someone's already done that with Kerbal 1.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody has. I'm sure there's a mod in there somewhere.
All right, as we can see, crew getting acclimated. The nose cone hooks are in the process of being disengaged, so they are starting to open. And once that is complete, we are able to open the nose cone and expose the forward hatch.
So incredible.
If the forward hatch where they can actually see out the front.
And yet the story is just
We're gonna have to wait until that happens. We'll wait until the front
officially
hatch.
on their way to the International Space Station. How are things tracking there in mission control at Johnson Space Center?
Thank you for the link to that because I'm totally visiting that later.
Officially begun with
All right, we're going to lower this down. So, my going back to like the actual show, Crusader Kings. Now that I've got my OSX updated, I will be playing it. I was able to load it in last night, and I was able to play it. I don't know how well it will play, but I'm going to try it. And I have looked at some of the tours and tournaments editions. In one of my old games, it actually was a cloud save, so I went back into that old game, and it actually has been inserted to that old game. So I'm having to remind myself where I was in that game. It was an Iron Man version.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So we'll have to see how that goes. But I'm probably going to be playing it quite a bit this week. So yeah, that's all I've got as far as games are concerned. My life is pretty easy. Thank you very much for the tour. And all of this like whole computer hell and even considering getting a new computer has all come down to the fact that I couldn't play Crusader Kings on my Mac. So, do we want to, we didn't do an intro. We're not going to do an intro. We'll consider this SpaceX intro. But do you want to?
We'll do the intro now. An hour in. This is the ultimate late title card.
Sure. Yeah. Just we'll be like Valhalla where we have the title card an hour and a half into the game. All right. So let's do the intro. Stand by.
This podcast discusses video games, modern culture, and technology. And these podcasters are big fat potty mouths. If you're younger than 18 or are easily offended, please stop this podcast now. Oh, and your mom says to take out the trash and do your homework.
Hello and welcome to GameHounds. GameHounds episode 679. We are recording this on Sunday, May 21st, 2023. I'm Edie Sellers, and with me is Nick DiNicola. And yeah, all right, so now we did it. It's over. I don't need to go anymore. So do you want to hit the news?
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
All right, let's hit the news. This is the GameHounds news, the news using commentary of the week in gaming with Gamer Edie and Nick DiNicola. And our first item is,
I actually have some actual news, but then there's also like fun news.
I do too.
I don't know where to start.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actual news. You want to start with actual news? I have actual news.
Okay, I'll start with the actual news. China has officially approved the Microvision merger.
China, did you put your banners in?
Yes, I did.
Oh, there we go. To take two more comment and fun stuff. Critical Role. Wow, you got a lot of news items. Oh, okay. It has stopped, so we will turn that off. Remove it. China has approved the Microsoft Activision merger. Interesting. Speaking of which, do we have bidders in the chat room right now? And I know we have Chunder. Chunder, you need to send me your physical address because I am sending popcorn and I have it all loaded up to send it right now. I mean, like to actually send it. But for you, because you're in Australia, I cannot send popcorn to Australia. I have to order it from somewhere in Australia and have it sent to you. Because I guess it's a whole like you don't want our corn in your property, in your place. So I have to order popcorn there. So either that or I have to send you something else, which just kind of defeats the whole point of like eating popcorn while we're watching the world burn over this going on with Microsoft Activision on an international scale. So I have the email for Blood Reaper. I have the email for AC Wraith. I need the email for Bitters, and I need the physical address for Chunder. You can send it to me on Discord. Okay. Direct message me in our Discord channel. If you don't know, I mean, I can't imagine you don't know our Discord channel, but if you want to join our Discord channel, that would be cool. Even, just so you can hang out with all the rest of the people in here. The Discord channel is right there. Join up and send me a direct message in our Discord channel, in the GameHounds Discord. So yeah, in fact, if you do it now, you will see immediately something in your email inbox. Everybody except Chunder. Smuggle the popcorn inside Johnny Depp's dogs. All right. There's another sick burn. Not as good as Vice's burn, but close. So yeah, China.
I was thinking of those poor dogs.
I know. Well, poor dogs that they belong to Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Talk about some fucked up dogs. Those
dogs have seen some shit.
Yeah, it's like, good news, you're being reincarnated as a dog, a dog owned by a celebrity. Bad news, that celebrity is Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. China.
Anyways,
China did approve that,
China.
and just to keep you up. And why the whole popcorn thing is because UK said no, they did not approve. Immediately followed by the EU saying, yes, they do approve. And now China's saying, yes, they do approve. So more and more, it's looking like the UK might have to either give up its disapproval and change their minds, or that Activision and Xbox games aren't in the UK, which would be an interesting idea, that you couldn't have Xbox or Activision there. So what did they say?
I don't think it would be.
China say anything specific about their, thing?
I don't think so.
You don't have anything to add to that other than that?
No. But I don't think all of Microsoft and all of Activision would not be able to function inside of the UK. I think maybe Microsoft wouldn't be able to sell Activision games, but they could still sell other games. They just couldn't sell Activision games.
Maybe. I don't know. Because this is uncharted territory. This is absolute uncharted territory. We have no idea how this will go, because this really hasn't happened for a video game company. It might have happened for other companies, but not for video game companies. Certainly not for like big media companies like this. I dovetailing onto this, I have a couple of those, and we'll open up this week in the Activision Blizzard shit show. So that is the banner that keeps on going. We've had it up there for more than a year now, and it's still there. Still gets used on the regular. This week on my end for the Activision shit show is first the popcorn alert. Like I said, send me your emails, send it in the Discord right now, and I will send you your popcorn right now. The popcorn alert for this is that the UK, after the EU approved, after the UK disapproved, the UK then sent a very strongly worded rebuttal to the EU about the fact that they'd approved it. And this was on Monday of last week. The EU confirmed that they'd cleared the deal. The UK did not, obviously. The UK's competition watchdog, the
the CMA?
CMA, I think that it is. They issued the rebuttal. Where is it? God dang it. Did I not get that? I did not copy that information. Crap. I did a copy paste and then I just copied the same thing over twice. So let me find it. EU.
Chinabox has a fun point. It's like with all of China's censorship, it's a wonder that they care. It's like, oh, yeah.
Here we go. I'm reading this out of Video Game Chronicles where I got this item. According to them, in responding to that decision, Sarah Cardell, the CEO of the Competition Markets Authority, the CMA, as we said that the EU, or they should at least suggested that the EU was wrong by saying this. The UK, US, and European competition authorities are unanimous that this merger would harm competition in cloud gaming. The CMA concluded that cloud gaming needs to continue as a free, competitive market to drive innovation and choice in this rapidly evolving sector. Microsoft's approvals accepted today by the European Commission would allow Microsoft to set the terms and conditions for this market for the next 10 years. They would replace a free, open, and competitive market with one subject to ongoing regulation of the games Microsoft sells, the platforms to which it sells them, and the conditions of the sale. This is one of the reasons the CMA's independent panel group rejected Microsoft's proposals and prevented this deal. While we recognize and respect the European Commission, while we recognize and respect that the European Commission is entitled to take a different view, the CMA stands by its decision. So they're digging in their heels, which means that the popcorn's going to be flowing because it's about to get nasty. And I did not know about the China thing, which just makes it 100% even worse.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, they're not wrong. Like when you consider that Microsoft owns like the whole vertical process of cloud gaming, is that even if someone doesn't accept a license for their game, so even if someone's not like paying Microsoft to get Activision games, they're still likely paying for Azure servers that Microsoft controls.
Mm-hmm.
Like they, with their massive server infrastructure, and like their library of games, they can kind of own every level of how cloud gaming works.
Oh, absolutely. There's no question about that. And they will. And once they're going to once eyes are off of them, and as soon as eyes are on them, they're going to be playing nice. Once the eyes are off of them, they will not be playing nice at all. So it's a thing. It's definitely a thing that's going to happen. To that end, also related, and it's interesting that you bring that up. It makes a very nice segue for the next item that is also part of the Activision Blizzard shit show. Microsoft has announced that they're going to be rolling out very shortly on May 25th. Yes. Take it back. They have already rolled out Gears 5 on GeForce Now, NVIDIA's streaming service. And of course, they're doing this to prove that they're not going to own cloud gaming. They're going to make sure they put as many games as possible, not on anything other than GeForce, obviously, because they don't want to actually create true competition. But they've already put up Gears 5, and it's going to be joined by Deathloop, Grounded, and Pentiment on May 25th, so next week. So yeah, and this is part of their 10-year deal with NVIDIA to bring Xbox and PC games, or Xbox PC games, not Xbox games, but Xbox's PC games to GeForce Now. And ostensibly, this is also going to mean that you're going to see, and I think that they've said that you're going to see Call of Duty and World of Warcraft. If this merger goes through, you're going to see the Activision and Blizzard games that Xbox will have acquired on GeForce Now, in addition to their own Game Pass and other streaming
I think
services.
that's the deal they made with all those other tons of streaming services. Is like, hey, if this deal goes through, we'll give you these games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, not like we'll give you, but you'll be able to stream them.
Yep. So yeah, all very interesting. I'm still is Bitters not in here because I'm literally holding up the sending of this. So
I don't
for
think
him.
so.
So I'm just going to remove that recipient. All right. Let's see. And we're going to send to it's you, and there we go. Recipient 3 is I'm going to send to you, Nick, as well.
Okay. But I also have kind of more news in the Activision Blizzard shit show. It's not related to the merger, but it is related to Activision, specifically Blizzard. Blizzard has announced that the PvE mode for Overwatch 2 is officially dead. That's a huge deal because Overwatch 2, so timeline of events. Overwatch 1 launches to critical raves. Everyone loves it. It's a cool, defines like the hero shooter for competitive multiplayer games. Some years later, people are kind of getting upset with how the balance of teams have changed. And then Blizzard announces Overwatch 2. And as part of that announcement, they kind of stop updating Overwatch. And so for a good 2 to 3 years, this live service game gets no service. Then Overwatch 2 comes out. One of the big things about Overwatch 2 is that it's going to revamp the PvP. It's also going to add in PvE mode. It's going to add in this like single player mode with story and narrative. You're going to be able to level up your characters through like a skill tree and all that stuff. When Overwatch 2 launches, it launched without the PvE mode. And Blizzard said, don't worry, it's coming later. It's coming later. They even kept saying that up until like a month ago. But now, in the interview where I forget who from Blizzard announced that it was officially dead, they even said that when Overwatch 2 launched, they were unsure of PvE's like placement in it.
Yeah. They what was it it was this week that they actually said that PvE is not coming, and instead it will only be added as part of their live service. Like it's going to be sprinkled into different seasons and different chapters.
Yeah, and that's basically what they do now is occasionally there's a seasonal event that's a single player event. But that's it.
Yeah, and that's what they're going to get more of. And here's another thing is that I forget in their response, like they announced that they weren't going to have PvE. And people lost their minds because number one is they were promised PvE, but number two is it's really hard to say that this is Overwatch 2 when they're taking out the big thing that made it a 2 instead of a 1.5.
Yes. The common refrain here is that it's like, why did you make a sequel?
Right.
Like, what was the point?
What was the point to make right? Exactly. And that whole issue is made even worse by the fact that they only announced that they were not going to do full PvE campaign. It was going to be sprinkled in, as part of their live service. In other words, highly monetized. This last week. And then once the backlash happened, the devs came out to give a further explanation to try to make things better. And one of the things they said was, we knew that we were scrapping PvE late last year.
Yeah.
So they waited 6 months to tell us that there was not going to be this thing in Overwatch 2 that actually made it a 2. Which made it all so much worse. So much worse. I don't even know why they let anyone say that. They had to have known that was throwing gasoline on this fire.
Yeah. I remember way back when there were rumors that and this is before like there was a Activision Blizzard. This was before the whole sexual harassment thing came up. There were rumors that Activision was really pressuring Blizzard to release more games. And I think you definitely see this as a consequence of that, where they put out Overwatch 2 when they didn't need to. They didn't have a game. They just wanted a new box to put on shelves.
Yep.
Activision wanted some sort of box product. And
to kind
Blizzard
of reinvigorate everybody to kind of just get back into it, thinking that there was something new.
Yeah,
everybody that left would come back.
And even though it's a free-to-play game, I think they still had boxed versions that, like, oh yeah, you get cosmetics and stuff. They wanted to sell another product. And I know people have said Blizzard has a long and sordid history of canceling projects that are deep into development. Like, that's not new.
No.
But what makes this different is A, they had announced it previously some time ago and were continuing to like talk about it. B, like when Blizzard canceled StarCraft Ghost, they were kind of at the height of their popularity in the 90s with writing StarCraft and Warcraft and Diablo and World of Warcraft. Blizzard nowadays is a much more tainted name. Like they put out Overwatch 2, which already most kind of landed with a whimper.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're gutting it.
Yep.
They put out a remake of Warcraft 3, which I think really bombed and like ruined
it was
how
terrible.
Previous people could play the game.
Yep.
And I think they put out a couple other things that just didn't hit big.
Yeah, like I think their most recent World of Warcraft update was not particularly well received.
Yeah, and so
like I think that they revamped the Lich King, Return of the Lich King, and I think that did not go well as well. In addition,
so yeah, they're not hitting home runs. They're not even really hitting singles.
No,
and that's not even counting like all the harassment issues of the company itself.
Yeah,
and like so having them cancel a big project amidst all that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the same as, oh yeah, they just cancel things all the time. It really looks like a developer in trouble that doesn't really know what they're doing.
It's so funny when I was reading all of the tweets and all of seeing all the backlash on YouTube of people commenting about it. I remembered back in the day before Blizzard was purchased by Activision, and we went up to them and saw them at PAX, and we were doing an interview, and I remember asking them, do you have $100 bills in your bathrooms that you use toilet paper? and it was just like, it's because Blizzard at that point, everything they did hit it out of the park. World of Warcraft was a tour de force. It was scientifically designed to be exactly as addictive as it was. They took the idea of Evercrack and turned it into like World of what's the new one that's super fentanyl? World of Fentanyl. They took Evercrack and turned it into World of Fentanyl. Like 10 times more addictive and will kill you instantly. And because they had tested it in order to make it as addictive as possible. And that's, that was the genius of Blizzard. They knew how to make fan-freaking-tastic games. Started with Diablo and then went to Warcraft and then went to World of Warcraft, the MMO that is still the MMO of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And since they were purchased by Activision, they're not good. They're not even not good. They're bad. They just fuck up. And it's 100%, especially now since it's been so long since they've been owned by Activision, it's 100% attributable to Activision.
Yeah.
That whole culture, that whole company, that whole way that they function, that bringing of Activision's, of Bobby Kotick's culture into Blizzard, fucked up Blizzard.
Yeah, at this point, everyone that worked at Blizzard back in the day is no longer there.
Yeah.
Or they've come back and then left again.
Yeah, exactly. Bitters, you are in the chat room officially. Go to the Discord server, send me a direct message with your email address ASAP, because you are one of the lucky recipients of the popcorn package. I have already sent the popcorn package to AC Wraith and to Blood Reaper. So check your email. I need to get Bitter's email so I can send it to him. Because you were here last week when I said, if this or 2 weeks ago, when I said, if this happens, we're going to get you popcorn. And it did. Anyway, so yeah, why don't you hit another one, because you've got way more stories than I do.
Okay.
And I already did 2 of mine. I only have 4.
Okay, I'll just get to a couple like big ones that are interesting.
Right.
So Tears of the Kingdom, obviously, it came out.
So tired of hearing about that fucking game.
Well, you're going to hear a little bit more about it because it has officially sold 10 million copies in 3 days.
God. Oh my God. I was reading an article that it said that they expect this game to be a bestseller for years.
Oh, absolutely.
Not months, years.
I'm sure it will.
It is going to be the Grand Theft Auto of Nintendo.
So
your Discord won't accept direct messages from me.
Oh, that's weird.
That's weird. Okay.
Can you send it to me and then I can send it to Edie?
Yeah, you could do that. Try to do that. Send a direct message to Nick. And if not, you can send it to my email and I will give it to you. I will put that in the Discord server.
You can send a direct message to him.
I might be able to. I'm assuming that you can. If he can't send it to me, I'm assuming that I can't send it to him.
That's why it'd be interesting to find out.
Yeah.
But yeah,
fucking Australia. I hate you guys. You're freaking what is wrong with your stupid country? Nothing works there. Everything's trying to kill you and nothing works. So anyway, sorry.
So yeah, not Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom
did pretty good. I think, let's see. For some comparisons, this is from a Kotaku article. Horizon Forbidden West at this point, at the most recent sales numbers we have, is at 8.3 million. God of War sold 11 million copies in 3 months. So for comparison, God of War Ragnarok did 11 in 3 months, and Tears of the Kingdom did 10 in 3 days.
Oh my God.
Last year, the game that took over the gaming industry for like 10 months of the 12-month year, Elden Ring, sold 13 million copies in 5 weeks, which, like, by any stretch of the imagination,
that's insanely fast.
That's good. That's great.
That was amazing. Yeah.
And Elden Ring ended 2022 with 20 million units. So yeah, I keep thinking Breath of the Wild. Tears of the Kingdom is on track to be a massively profitable, just a massive game. Hey, Edie, are you sick of hearing about Tears of the Kingdom? Because you're going to hear about it the rest of the fucking year.
I'm going to hear it for years to come. Yeah. And yes, I got a notification. My message could not be delivered. This is usually because you don't share a server with the recipient, or the recipient is only accepting direct messages from friends. Are you not my friend? Can I make you my friend? Yeah, we share a server. We're looking at it right now. All right, I'm adding you as a friend.
That's weird that you can't send direct messages.
Add friend. Ghoulies is not accepting friends requests. They'll have to add you to become friends. So you have to add me, Chunder, apparently.
Okay,
I can't add you.
In the interest of not turning this into a troubleshooting tech podcast.
Sorry, yes, sorry.
I have a fun segue.
Okay.
You mentioned something that Tears of the Kingdom is going to be Nintendo's GTA. Well, Take-Two, they had the what is it?
Investor
Yeah,
day.
investor things. And
Yeah.
they were talking about fiscal growth in 2025, which would include like 2024. And they're basically saying, hey, it's going to be a good year.
We're not going to say why.
Yeah.
We're
not going to say why.
Right.
Well,
hint.
Guess what?
It's going to be a big year for Take-Two.
So, you know, if you want to invest, you should do it now. Yeah. Well, we're going to be releasing Grandma the Argentinian.
We're releasing
6.
Bully 3.
Yeah, that's what it is. No. Our sort of developer, Rockstar, they're going to come out with a new game, Table Tennis 2.
Oh, God, that's right. They did do table tennis, didn't they? Yeah. So, in other words, saying it without saying it. Grand Theft Auto.
Yes. So
4, 5?
6.
6. GTA. That's going to be GTA 6.
So yeah. Yep. GTA 6 in 2024. They didn't say it, but they said it.
Yeah. And it's going to be really good. It's going to be great. It's actually
definitely
the only
time.
thing that they could do to kill it is to decide to pull an Activision and make it just 100% live service or like free to play.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're not doing that.
Yeah. They shouldn't. They shouldn't.
No.
They might.
I bet that it comes with it's going to come with a big single player game because that's kind of what the prestige aspect of it does, but it's also going to have a huge multiplayer component as well because that has done gangbusters.
I think this is what they're going to do. Mark my word. All right. AC Wraith, pull out the pencil, the pen, whatever you use to keep track of our predictions. Here's my prediction.
Oh, you'll need that pen for later in the show. Definitely. I'm going to make some bets.
Okay. Here's my prediction of what's going to happen with the next GTA. It's not going to be one game. There's going to be GTA 6, which is the campaign. There is going to be a second game that you will have to pay for, standalone, that is GTA 6 Online.
I could see it.
So that you could choose to not to play the campaign and just play GTA 6 Online, because that's what a lot of people did and do, still do. They don't buy Grand Theft Auto 5 for the campaign. They buy Grand Theft Auto 5 for Grand Theft Auto Online. So they're going to separate it out into two different things. That's what I would do. That's how make absolutely ensure that you make the most amount of money, because there's going to be people that just want to buy the campaign. There's going to be people that just want to buy the online, and then there's going to be people that buy both. Because if it's $80, because and their rationalization is that Grand Theft Auto Online is part of it, and that's a much bigger thing, then I'm not going to spend $80 for that, because I just want to play the campaign.
I think a lot of people would.
If it came to if you wanted to play both, that you have to pay somewhere around $100, people would do it.
I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, it's funny you say that. Grand Theft Auto is one of the games I think entirely justifies being a $70 game.
Oh God, yes. Especially if they put the online together with the
the single player.
The single player. Either that, or they make it a monthly charge. You get 30 days free of Grand Theft Auto Online, but then after that, it's $10 a month.
Maybe. I don't know if they want to mess too much with that system that's worked out so well for them.
True.
Now.
It was his end. Oh, it was your end all along. Okay. All done. Good. Good to know. Good to know. For once, it's not my fault. All right. So yeah, I mean, are you going to put any money in Take-Two?
Maybe.
I don't think I wouldn't be. It kills me. It kills me that I did not buy Take-Two when it was like $2 a share when they thought it was going to go under. Because I remember that
yeah, that happened.
Yes, it did. I was working at JetBlue and I had my finger hovered over the buy button to buy Take-Two. And I was like, before I do it, I'm just doing a little more research. And it was like, everybody said they're going under. And it was like $2 a share. And I had $1,000.
Was that 2009?
It was 2008, 2009.
Yeah, I'm looking at a little picture of their stock over time. And 2009, it is super low.
Yeah, because it was going to go out of business. It was going to go bankrupt. They were about to go bankrupt and they pulled it out. And what's the stock at now? Because I think it was like $275 a share when I was looking at it.
Right now it's 137.
Oh my God. So that I had $1,000. Let me do the math on this. Where's my calculator? So I was about to buy $1,000 at $2.75 a share. So
this is exactly what you never want to do when you talk about like buying stock.
All right, I would have had 363 and 2/3 shares. So 300. I would have bought 364 shares of stock. Oh, 360. Let's say 360 shares of stock, because you have to pay for the the trade fee. So 360. What's it at right now?
137.
It would have been worth $50,000.
You would have gotten what, 50 times from 1,000 to 50,000? Yeah, but you know what? I remember back in the day, when Netflix introduced Quickster, and I thought, I should probably buy some Netflix stock because I don't think they'll go under. Guess what I didn't do?
Yeah, I mean, a fun fact. The way that I essentially ostensibly paid for the Tesla, I bought Tesla stock when all the Teslas started to explode and catch fire. Do you remember back then?
Mm-hmm.
And the stock tanked, and I bought $1,500 worth of it at $100. I think it was $112 at the low back then, and then it split like crazy. And that $1,500 I spent was what paid for the Tesla. I bought the Tesla with it.
Nice.
Yeah,
bought a Tesla with Tesla.
Yep. GameHounds 679 GTA 6 2 games campaign online. Thank you. 2 games. I think I'm gonna be right on that one, because it's not just gonna be the game and then the game attached like it was GTA 5. Because also remember when GTA 5 came out, the online was horrifically broken.
That's right.
Horribly broken.
I don't think it even launched with the online.
Yes, it did. You just couldn't play it.
Oh, okay. You're right. I do remember.
You couldn't even get in. You couldn't even log in. It was so busted. And so now they've had a decade to sort it out. Now they have the servers. Like when it launches, it'll be fine. So, because you have way more players of it now than they had when it launched. And they've been able to scale and get rid of all the bugs and sort it out. And yeah, it's going to be 2 games. Any popcorn suggestions? Oh, it's all good. Sugar Wish, all good. Did you get the email for the popcorn? Check your email, Nick. The your Gmail account. Chunders Bitters, did you send me your email? So let's see what I can do as far as stories are concerned. My next story is let's see, what have I got? Speaking of free games, I don't know, were we speaking of free games? This week you can get, every week there is a new Epic Game Store free game that they give away. This week, the Epic's Game Store free game is Death Stranding.
A very good
So,
game.
and they have done this in the past, but they only made it available for 24 hours. Now you just have to claim it before May 25th. So, and it is the standard version of the game, not any, expanded anything. So you're going to have it comes with selections of the Art of Death Stranding digital book by Titan, the Chiral Gold Omni Reflector, Luden's Mask sunglasses, Gold Silver and Power Skeleton, and the Gold Silver All Terrain skeleton, and a Gold and Silver armor plate. So yeah, if you have not played Death Stranding and you want to, go pick it up. And also, antithetically, alongside, Epic has released or launched a new program called the Epic Rewards Program. And what this program does is that it lets you earn 5% of all the purchases that you make. Now, this doesn't count because you're getting it for free. But if you buy stuff off of Epic Store, you get 5%, I don't want to say cash back, but credit back to spend on future eligible Epic Game Store games.
Yeah.
Essentially your next one.
Yeah, and that's a good program. Nintendo has something similar. We get like 5 or something back. And I've used it a lot of times where I have a wish list of stuff on Switch, and a lot of times the games will go on sale and they'll be like $2 to $3.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I buy a couple of $20 games on Switch, that eventually gives me enough to get one of those dollar games on sale for free.
Right.
And so it's there's nothing wrong with it. Like, it's kind of entirely beneficial. And yeah,
store credit. It's not a bad thing. It's a bit like, 5% cashbacks on your credit card.
Hey, getting store credit, even if it's just a little tiny bit,
adds up.
Yeah, it's a good perk.
Right. You're going to spend that money anyway.
Yeah.
If you buy it on the Epic Game Store, you get a little money back. That's all it is. It's not like it's, you shouldn't buy a game that you wouldn't normally buy, but it is an inducement for you to, if you're going to buy an Epic game, to buy it directly from them as opposed to like Steam or anywhere else.
Chaos says, Epic does a lot of interesting things to get people to use their platform, but it sucks it's hindered by kind of an awful storefront.
It does. It is. Agreed. And also the fact, Epic is a horrible company. But beyond that.
Oh, they're not that bad.
I want to say Epic. Didn't Epic have a really bad expose? I
don't think so.
Of abusing workers. I want to say yes.
Maybe.
AC Ray says he's gonna get, what did you say? He was gonna go red velvet, spicy buffalo and chili lime, and then he just switched out the chili lime with strawberry cheesecake.
Strawberry cheesecake popcorn?
Yeah.
That does not sound good.
I'm sure it is. Sugar Wish makes really good popcorn. Really good popcorn. H100box says, newsflash, Australia now has microwavable popcorn in the pantry. Woohoo. Now I can get my own. You're getting a box of Orville Redenbachers. Congratulations, fucker. He says they aren't any worse than anyone else, to be honest. They're just trying to break into Steam's market share, which requires them to do something interesting. Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with doing interesting stuff.
Hey, guess what? Competition
is good. Exactly. It makes you do interesting things and change up, and it's usually benefits the consumer.
Yeah. So yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Maybe the next PC game I'll get will be on Epic.
Yeah. And yeah, so yeah, go get yourself your if you have not played Death Stranding, everyone should play. I played a little of it. I really should play more of it. It just was too.
There's nothing more satisfying than trudging through a goddamn long rocky area, trying to keep your footing while carrying way too much cargo, and then getting to the place, unloading it all, and then building a road and then being like, fuck this land. I'm
Yeah.
now driving. Or better yet, make a zip line.
Yeah, I never got to zip lines. That would have been awesome.
Zip lining over the snowy mountains is so cool. It's like, man, fuck those mountains.
Chaos says you just got to play the walking simulator and until it turns into a third-person shooter.
Yeah, see, it never turned into a shooter for me. I never gotten too many.
It did for me. It totally. See, I'm a completionist, so I wanted to complete everything in an area. So we never got out of many of the areas. I made that mistake. I really should go back. Anyway, so your next item?
This is just kind of a fun one. Mortal Kombat 12 was announced, and it's Mortal Kombat 1.
What?
They're basically in the same way that Battlefield 6. Oh, it went from Battlefield 5 to Battlefield 1.
Right.
Mortal Kombat 12 is Mortal Kombat 1.
Oh no.
The official name is Mortal Kombat 1. And I think the most interesting thing about it, as someone who's kind of like tangentially interested in the Mortal Kombat franchise, is that it manages to be a reboot and a sequel all in one.
Mhm.
Because I believe Mortal Kombat 11 was all about the characters basically fighting God and like rebooting the universe. And so this is a reboot of the universe, but it's also a sequel to the game in which they canonically reboot the universe. Just Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat story. The fact that it's a sequel and a reboot all in one, and it's all still canon, is like this is nuts.
Chaos just got the slap down from Nightbot. Nightbot is still there, friends, just in case you're concerned. Nightbot is still there, and Chaos just got a slap down because he was spamming emotes. He sent us this.
Yeah. See, that's not emote spam. That's just quality messages.
Yeah. The war, the beef between Chaos and Nightbot continues. It's yeah, just always fun to watch. More popcorn, sir. More popcorn.
So yeah, kind of related to that too.
Mhm.
With the announcement came somehow a bunch of leaked characters. One of which is Homelander from The Boys.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I feel like he's a good Mortal Kombat.
Oh, he'd be a great Mortal, especially. And wait, please tell me that what's his name is also there. The Australian guy. No, but they're both Australian.
Oh, I don't know. I don't.
Billy?
Know. Yeah, Billy the Butcher.
Billy the Butcher. Billy the Butcher's also
Billy
there.
Butcher. I don't know if Billy's in it. I think it might just be Homelander.
Oh God! What a loss of an opportunity.
John Cena's Peacemaker from the DC universe is also rumored to be one of the new characters.
So Peacemaker and Homelander, the battle of the Urs.
The battle of the psychopathic, patriotic, murder villains, anti-heroes. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Let's see.
I guess that's just too good of a segue because we're talking about new characters in games.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a thing for this because I just remembered it. Dead by Daylight had a stream where they introduced a whole bunch of like new things, like for a 7th anniversary. One of the things they teased was Nicolas Cage. That's it. Nicolas Cage is coming to Dead by Daylight. Has himself. He's basically going to be a playable survivor. So
no, he shouldn't be a playable survivor.
No, I think
he should be a playable monster.
I think it's better that he's a survivor and not a monster.
No, he needed to be. You're trying to make
not a serial killer.
Yeah, who would make a better one? Name me a man who would make a better serial killer than Nick Cage. Who would you have more? What would you have more fun doing? Running with Nick Cage or running from Nick Cage?
I mean, I kind of would want to run with him.
No, I want to run from him.
Gail says people want him to be both a killer and a survivor.
Just a bunch of Nick Cages running from Nick Cage.
Oh, that would actually be great because you wouldn't know who the killer is. It'd be like Among Us. One of these cages is not like the other. Who is it?
Who's the Nick Cage killer?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, I heard they're going to space. Dead by Daylight is going to actually have a space mode.
I didn't see that, but that's cool.
They're doing a lot of Dead by Daylight stuff, upgrades and updates.
Oh yeah, it'll be called End Transition, and it'll have a new killer called the Singularity, which is basically like a weird organic robot monster.
Mm-hmm. Blood Reaper, check your email. Check your email right now. You got a sugar wish. Yeah, they lost an opportunity. They really did. They lost an opportunity. Who would be a really good, like, not killer, like a celebrity killer that you would need to run from? I mean, it's a little bit of a dated one, but like, who was the name? Kate plus 8, like running from the ultimate Kate.
Kate?
Remember Kate plus 8's a Kate, that family with like the kids and the husband, and then they just combusted, and she just turned into like the one with the weird hair. Anyway, sorry, it's a dated reference. Steven Seagal.
Oh, Steven Seagal would be a good killer.
God, no, he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't. You should not give that man. I feel bad even mentioning his name. That man needs absolutely no attention whatsoever.
No, it's great because he can't run anywhere, so he would only walk.
Always lumber and tell you he would lumber around and tell you how fast he runs.
I'm gonna get you.
I'm gonna get you.
Mm-hmm.
I run faster than anybody else. I run faster than everybody else. I'm gonna kill you. Yeah, in transmission. So yeah, that's a thing that's gonna happen. He uses his money to pay people to come hit people and take the credit. He just sits in the corner and then has other serial killers kill you, and then says, "See, I killed you."
That's not a bad idea. Like he's just sitting on some Barker lounger while like the Nicolas Cage and the Leatherfaces are out there, and you as a survivor have to track down Seagal and kill him, and he takes like one hit.
I think another good one would be Rudy Giuliani. He would be another great one to have to run from.
Do you just throw water on him and he melts?
Well, not only, I mean, actually, you know where he's been because he's leaving the trail of trail of hair dye behind him. It's like, oh, he's already been here. How recent? How recent is this hair dye? Oh, it was there just now. Still warm.
20 minutes.
Chuck Norris would just show you a lost screen of entry. I like that. I think Chuck Norris, that would be a fantastic inclusion that would take very little coding on their part and just get Chuck Norris, just get his permission to just be like a character and then have just that. You lose. It wouldn't be too hard. You just have to follow the heavy breathing. I'm assuming you're talking about Seagal or Giuliani.
No, yeah,
Giuliani, yeah. Anyway,
a lot of good things, but I wish I played more of that game because it seems really cool.
The best part of that game is watching the Viva La Dirt Leagues, Dead by Daylight. They have like a series of Dead by Daylight stuff that's all pretty funny. Norris would be a great survivor. He would just go attack the killer. Chuck Norris might be like one of those, because you get perks, right? As a survivor, you can have perks. Like one of the high-end perks would be a Chuck Norris. You could call in Chuck Norris.
Oh, yeah.
And for like a period of time. And the Chuck Norris would hurt the killer or at least slow him down seriously. Steve O is a killer and he attacks you with cocaine. That would be another one of those. Is he here recently?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, recently.
That's not a bad idea for a killer to like throw stuff at you and disorient you.
So moving right along. I would play those type of games, but I'm so scared of being stuck in the first person killer role or needing to play it to advance something. Yeah, I agree. I always end up being the killer.
Is the killer first person?
The killer, I believe, is first person.
If it was third person, you'd have a lot of peripheral vision that would kind of make it easier.
Right. I believe that the killer is first person. I remember playing the first time I ever played Among Us. I ended up being the killer the first time, and I didn't know how to do anything. I always end up being, whenever I come into those games the first time. Shameless self-promotion, Chaos says, but like I said, I am going to be streaming it soon if you guys want to watch me get run around by survivors. Okay, you can do that.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
And you can completely avoid, and you can completely avoid being the killer. Oh,
that's good to know.
Gosh, if you're going to play it, is it cross-platform? Maybe Nick and I might join you.
I have no idea.
I think Dead by Daylight is available on Game Pass. I know I have it. I purchased it. I think I did. It is cross-platform. No, we're supposed to meet up with Chris. We have two. We're supposed to meet up with Chris. We promised.
Oh, are we? I didn't know that.
Don't you remember that whole like conversation we had over text yesterday?
No.
Did you miss that?
Maybe.
All right.
Anyways.
Moving right along. All right. My next item is, it's not going to be nearly as fun as that one. Let's see. What were we talking about? We talked about GeForce Now. Oh, yay. Speaking of space. There's a good segue. And speaking of television characters in space that you want to see, there's an even better segue. Telltale has a new game coming out. Did you know that? Next week. No, is it next week? No, next month. And the next month. Have you heard about it?
Oh, wait, is this The Expanse?
The Expanse series. Episodes start July 27th. It's going to be 5-part series. It's going to have a new episode released every 2 weeks. So that's going to be 10 weeks total. Pre-orders for both the standard and the deluxe editions go live June 1st. Pre-ordering is going to grant you 24 hours early access to the episodes on PlayStation and PC. The deluxe edition will also come with to-be-announced DLC. And this was a game that they announced at the Game Awards in 2021, and it's being developed by the developer Deck 9, which was the ones that did Life is Strange. And
really,
and the story is not going to be the movie. It actually follows. It takes place prior to the television series, the Amazon television series that was so amazing. You're going to be playing the role of, do you remember Kamina Drummer?
Yes, she's one of the best characters.
Yes. In fact, a lot of people say that the Expanse television show, essentially, she is the star of the show, that you didn't think she was a star, but eventually it becomes her story. Kamina Drummer, who was played by Kara G in the television show. She is the belter who takes over the ship. She essentially starts out as kind of a villain and then becomes like a not villain. She is the XO of the scavenger crew of that ship. Amazing. She has this amazing speech about, we're belters. This is our ship. We belong wherever we go. That kind of thing. So, according to the description, as Drummer, players must deal with a mix of powerful personalities, square off against a bloody mutiny, explore locations beyond the belt, and most of all, make tough decisions that will decide the fate of the Artemis crew. Yeah, that was the name of her show, of her ship, the Artemis. So yeah, I'm all about that. I'm excited for that.
I'm cautiously optimistic because Telltale, like they remember, like that whole studio shut down. That whole
Right. Well, the
studio
Telltale that
folded.
now is not Telltale.
Yeah, yeah. So
Not the
Telltale like
original.
completely folded, went under, and then someone else bought the name, and this is like the resurrection of it. So
Right.
we
'Cause
have
Telltale
no
never
idea
well, the
how
fact
good it will be.
right. Well, the fact that Telltale is really, for all intents and purposes, in this case, the publisher, because they're not the studio doing it. The studio doing it is the Life is Strange studio, Deck 9. They're the actual developers. And they're just kind of using the Telltale name for, I don't know, name recognition for all, pretty much. I would have loved to have had a Telltale made Telltale game that was made by Telltale for the Expanse, but that's gone. That doesn't exist anymore, which is a damn shame. Damn shame that we lost them. So yeah, but yeah, pre-orders start June 1st and it releases July 27th. Who doesn't want this? Seriously, even if it's not the original Telltale, who doesn't want this?
Chaos has it right. I've got to finish the Expanse.
I do too. I have yet to watch the last season.
And I think I haven't seen the last 2 seasons.
Maybe it's the last 2 seasons. I stopped watching it in 2020 because that was what Kevin and I watched together, and I just getting to the point where I can start watching it again. I tried to start watching it again and got like 10 minutes into the episode and realized I can't watch it just yet. So I'm working my way into it. There's a couple of shows that I can't do just yet, like The Last Kingdom. Can't quite do yet. And Expanse is another one of those can't quite do yet, but I'll get to it eventually. Yeah, Chris says most epic series in space ever. Agreed.
Oh yeah,
agreed.
So
good.
So
good.
What I find, I'm glad that Amazon picked it up after Sci-Fi canceled it, but it angers me so much that they stopped doing Blu-ray releases because you can only get discs for the first 3 seasons because those are the ones on Sci-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
And like now I can't have the whole collection on disc, which is a shame in this new era of streaming where these streamers like, hey, we don't want to keep paying you for the show. Not enough people are watching it, so we're just going to remove the show. Like there's every possibility that Amazon could remove The Expanse from streaming sometime in the future, and you will have no way to watch it except for that good old method.
You won't be able to show it to your grandkids, chances are.
Unless you pirate it.
There's a reason why, BitTorrent sites exist, and that's one of them. And I think legitimately exist. It's exactly for that reason, because, I'd like to think that somebody like Chris, I would like to think that Chris would get together with his grandkids someday, well into the future, and say, children, let's gather around. Grandpa's going to show you the greatest space series ever made, and it's The Expanse, and we're going to watch it together. And then they'll be like, but Grandpa, this is nothing like that. It's like, I know, you have to remember, this was made back in the 2020s. We didn't know. We were super excited just watching 4 people go up in Dragon X into the space station, and we're like catching tears. So Babylon 5, AC Ray says, Babylon 5 is all I have to compare for epic space series. The rest is cool, but not as epic in scope like Farscape. I still have yet to watch Battlestar Galactica.
Battlestar Galactica was good.
I've heard Battlestar Galactica is amazing. Kevin tried to get me to watch it. I'm like, no. I have seen that Portlandia skit about Battlestar Galactica I know what's going to happen to me if I start watching Battlestar Galactica. One more episode. One more episode. You've seen that, right? That.
Oh yes,
skit?
yes. I
One
saw
more
it back
episode?
when it was true of me. I was in high school.
That's when Kevin watched it.
I was in high school. No, maybe not high school. I forget where, but like I had the discs, the DVDs, and like I would watch one late at night, and it'd be like, okay, I've got school tomorrow. It's 2 a.m. I could watch another episode.
Kevin said that skit was not far off from actual reality. I'm like, that's why I'm not watching Battle. That's why I'm not watching
Well, see,
Battlestar Galactica.
now's time to watch it. Actually, where can you watch that?
Everywhere, I would imagine.
I don't think it's streaming anywhere.
Oh, the first season, AC Ray says the first season made Babylon 5 so hard to recommend. It has just enough to tell people not to skip it, but that makes it seem more like a chore.
Oh,
thank you for the link for the Portlandia Battlestar Galactica skit, which before you start watching Battlestar Galactica, you have to watch the skit and to know what you're getting yourself into.
So yeah, Edie. You can
That sounds like every gamer in school, true.
You can stream it on Peacock. I will give you my Peacock login information.
No. Why with all the things I actually want in this world, you won't do for me or give me. But when I'm like, no, I do not want to do this. It would wreck my life. No, seriously, here's my password. Take it. First hit is free. First hit is free.
I'll let you watch like 3 episodes and then I'll remove.
Cancel.
I'll change my password.
Good news is I'll let you borrow my password. Bad news is the 4th episode is gonna cost you.
No. See, I'll let you get a season in just to really make sure those hooks are in deep.
AC Ray says then you can watch Star Trek Picard for another space series. How is Picard? I've heard mixed.
I've not seen it. I've also never seen Next Generation, so I don't have any sort of like nostalgic feelings for Star Trek or Picard.
I almost bought a 7-foot statue of Picard as like the Borg Picard. I should have. Back when they had the Star Trek experience in the Hilton, I think it was in Los Angeles, which was Las Vegas, which was really, really well done. One of the things that you could buy in the gift shop after doing the experience and going to 10 Forward, the Happening Bar, that was the bar at the end of the experience was 10 Forward. But there was also a gift shop, and in there it was a 7-foot statue of Picard as, was it 7 of 9? I think Picard's Borg personality was 7 of 9, something like that. But Borg Picard, 7-foot full scale, statue. And I think it was $1,500. And I almost bought it because I'm like, that's a really good deal. And I talked myself out of it because, like, where would I put it?
But then you would have a 15-foot statue.
Locutus. That's right. Locutus. Thank you very much.
The problem with that is then you have a statue.
Yeah, but it would have been an awesome statue to have.
But yes, I'm sorry, Chris. I've not seen The Next Generation.
Yeah.
I also never watched Jag.
I never watched Jag.
I did watch a lot of Voyager. I watched a lot of Star Trek Voyager with my phone.
Did I watch Voyager? I can't remember if I watched Voyager. I definitely watched a lot of Next Generation. Because Riker was happening, dude. All right, so moving right along, how we are getting on the amount of distractions that we have going right now is insane. Like tangent central.
Okay, I can take us back, get on some tangents.
Okay.
So there's a tweet thread. And this
Mhm.
is just a fun, goofy news. Tim Schafer has a credit in Star Wars Pod Racer. the like 2000s era racing game that came out on Nintendo 64.
Right. I remember that.
Yeah. Tim Schafer has a credit, never actively tried to sabotage the project. Tim Schafer. That's his credit on the game. Let's see. I'm going to present my screen.
Was he how did that come to be? Was there a backstory on this?
Yes. So that's someone asked him about this credit. How did he get the credit? Never actively tried to sabotage the project.
Click on the picture so it makes it big.
Oh.
There we go. Yeah. All right. Cool.
And he basically said his story is oh wait, let me there. This is back when Double Fine wasn't a thing. This is back when Tim Schafer worked for LucasArts.
Okay.
This is when he was making Grim Fandango for LucasArts.
Okay.
The Grim Fandango team sat next to the Pod Racer team. And so one day, just as a joke, he like walked over to them and was like, "So, what credit are you going to give me on Pod Racer?" And they said, "Why would we give you a credit? You didn't do anything." His response was, "Yeah, but on the other hand, I did nothing to hurt it." And so he says, I guess they just couldn't shake that logic and eventually gave him a credit that said, "Never actively tried to sabotage the project."
Yeah, that's back when LucasArts was when all of everything to do with the George Lucas workshop of horrors was fun. When they were a really fun place to work for. Yeah. That doesn't surprise me a bit.
It's a good credit. It's
it's a great credit.
Fun story.
All right. So let's see. I only have two other stories. One of them is, let's get into the one that really the eye roll of all. When I heard about this and when I saw it, I almost sprained my eyes because they rolled so far back into my head. So, Ubisoft announced that even though their whole NFT thing, I forget what their NFT thing was called. I forgot the name of it.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, and it's like, "Oh, we're going to make NFTs." And people are like, "We don't want NFTs." And I'm like, "Oh, well, you don't understand NFTs." And people are like, "No, we absolutely understand NFTs." And then they had this big interview by Yves Guillemot, who said, "Well, clearly what's happening is that people don't truly understand what we're doing, and when they do, they'll come around." And everybody was like, "Yeah, no means no, and yes, we do understand, and that's why we don't want to monetize this. Games are supposed to be games. They're not supposed to be investment models for you to make money off beyond us losing money." But no, this is not. Stop drinking the NFT Kool-Aid. So then they backed off and they said, "Oh, we were never really very serious about NFTs. It was just an experiment." It's like, no, you really wanted us to do NFTs. We didn't do them when you launched them. And now you're trying to say you didn't really want to do it anyway. Well, guess what? It is coming back. And they have a new way of figuring out how to make us buy NFTs. And the way they're going to do it is they are going to add physical collectibles to the NFTs. So here's how it's going to go. This is an Assassin's Creed NFT that is going to be produced as physical collectibles.
So they're just making physical collectibles.
No, it's worse. I should pull this up. You do the Assassin's Creed NFT so you can pull up what it looks like. Essentially, it's going to be created by this company called Integral Labs, and it's going to be called an Assassin's Creed Smart Collectible. And the NFT, they're calling it the digital soul of an Assassin's Creed character. Each of them is going to have quote unquote rare and unique outfits and weapons. Once you buy the NFT, meaning that you have to buy the digital soul first using blockchain for the transaction, then you can customize it and then order a 3D printed physical version of the character in a glass cube.
Oh, that's.
And the thing is that the actual cube itself, what is it? Let me pull it up. In Assassins, let me go to this one because it's actually in the right place for you to be able to show it to you.
Yeah, I found some articles about it, but I'm trying to find good pictures of it.
Yeah, there's definitely pictures out there because that was what I was looking at. I'm like, actually, the collectible's really cool looking. Assassin Creed Smart. What was it? Smart collectible.
Okay.
Here we go. Oh, come on. I know I've seen pictures of it. You've got it?
Yeah, I've got it.
Okay. Yeah, there it is. So you will essentially buy the NFT that they're calling a digital soul of that character. And then once you've bought the NFT, then you can get the cube. Right? And the thing is, the cube is really cool. Totally cool. I would totally buy that. But I don't want to buy an NFT in order to get the cube.
Yeah.
So you have to buy the NFT to get the cube.
They're making you buy the NFT. Does the NFT include like the costumes and stuff?
Yeah, well, the NFT is the digital soul that includes the rare and unique outfits and weapons. So essentially you have the NFT that is a picture. And then you can use that once you have the NFT, then you can order through them a cube that has the NFT, the image of the NFT, or the actual NFT inside the cube. Now, it gets even worse. Essentially, they're forced. How do we make you buy NFTs? We give you the thing you actually want, but you have to buy the NFT first. So now, see, you really are interested in the NFTs. Don't you see how good they are? All we have to do is make you buy the NFT so that you see how good they are, and then give you the thing you actually want. So the cube's going to contain a chip that can be scanned and authenticated, and it will also be able to interact with a companion app, right? So on top of that, Integral Reality Labs, is also selling 1,500 things they call Pieces of Eden. These Pieces of Eden allow you to, quote unquote, access exclusive drops, a unique limited edition digital soul, and a way to jump to the head of the line to get your physical smart collectible printed.
Oh, so hey, we're selling you a limited edition thing. You can buy essentially tickets that give you more of a chance of buying the limited edition thing?
No, we're selling you an NFT that gives you the right to be able to get this collectible. But the only way that you can get the collectible is to pay us more money. But you can buy a ticket to jump to the front of the line to get that collectible. Print it.
I like this Twitter thread. I need.
Well, no. Go back to the Twitter thread. I want to see that Twitter thread.
I know. I'm showing you the full thread.
Okay. All right.
So he's got like smart collectibles, a short thread. In this thread, we've been providing some tech information. Smart collectibles are unique things consisting of physical, digital components, blah, 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 blah. And it's that simple. But like, I genuinely don't understand the pieces at play here. There's the digital soul,
which is the NFT.
There's the pass that you get,
the Pieces of Eden, that will allow you to jump the front of the line to get your digital soul printed in the cube.
Okay, so where do the costumes come into play?
The costumes are part of the NFT. The NFT that you buy is right. The digital soul that you buy means it's like your picture. You're getting this. Essentially, the NFT is a picture. It's a picture of that character with that unique weapon and that unique costume.
Okay, so Ezio in a pirate outfit with a rapier is an NFT. and is a digital soul, and then Altair in his Middle Eastern garb with the hidden blade is a different digital soul NFT.
Right, exactly.
Okay,
In the,
so
you know,
then-
like Ezio in the ballroom with a candlestick is its own NFT.
Okay. And so then if I say I want this printed in a cube, I can
Then
do
you can
that.
pay them to print it in a cube. The cube comes back and has a chip to authenticate that it is truly the printed version of that digital soul.
Yeah, okay. But then I can buy pieces of Eden to jump the line and get my cube printed faster.
Right.
Why don't you just sell the fucking cube?
Exactly. Why? Because then we wouldn't buy the NFT, and that's what they want to do. They want us to buy the NFT. So
But
they're
no one gives
tying the physical collectible that was really cool to an NFT.
But no
so
one
that
gives a
they can
shit about
say
the
that we will
NFT.
work, and so that they can look down at their piece of paper going, see, people are buying NFTs. They love them.
But no one gives a shit about the NFT.
Uh-huh.
It's just like, hey, if you could just like, if there's just a website where like, hey, you can buy this cube and you can customize what character comes in that cube. Do you want Ezio? Do you want Altair? Do you want whatever? Like customize your character and pose, and we'll make a cube about it on demand.
Right.
Why can't they just?
That's like saying let's see, I can't think of something. What's something that everybody really, really, really wants? Something that is like sells like hotcakes.
Pancakes.
No.
What you're saying? Everyone doesn't love pancakes?
It's like putting a bar of gold in a Happy Meal and forcing you to buy the Happy Meal to get the bar of gold. And then saying Happy Meals are selling like crazy. People love Happy Meals.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like it's not they're not buying it for the Happy Meal. They're not buying the NFT for the NFT. They have to go through all these extra bullshit NFT steps to get the thing that they want, which is the physical collectible.
Well, what's more likely is that the collectibles just won't sell because that's way too much hassle.
Right. And people are wise enough to realize that what they're doing is that they're trying to make people buy NFTs. So that because Ubisoft is so convinced, because remember, let's go back to their words, people just are too stupid to understand how good NFTs are for you. I mean, that's essentially what they said. I wish I could pull up that interview with Yves Guillemot, but it's out there where he's like, people like gamers don't understand how good NFTs are. It's benefiting them. They could actually be investing and making money with their games. It's just that people don't understand. You're too dumb to understand what a great thing this is.
Yeah,
and this is their way to say, okay, clearly they're still dumb because they're still not into our NFTs. So what we're going to do is we are going to give them the one thing that they really want, the collectibles, but we're going to tie it to this NFT. So once they own an NFT, then they'll absolutely understand how great NFTs are.
But like nothing that they do. Yeah, the NFTs make the physical collectible part worse because it just adds steps to what should be a simple purchase.
Right. And ostensibly, if you wanted to sell your NFT, you'd have to sell the block with
the
it.
cube that goes with it, which also just makes selling the NFT an even bigger pain in the ass.
It makes not even just selling the NFT a bigger pain in the ass. Then it makes it look like NFTs are being traded when they're not being traded. What's happening is that the cubes are being sold.
No,
they're a limited edition collector's item.
No, but
they're
saying
just essentially trying to hemorrhage to shoehorn in the NFT market into the collectibles market so that they can say that it's NFTs that are so successful when it has nothing to do with NFTs.
No, but even in the best case scenario for them, I go through all this effort, I get the cube, everyone loves it. It's like, hey, this is a hot new thing. The act of trying to sell it is a bigger pain. If I just had a collectible and tried to sell it, that's one thing. But if I just had an NFT and tried to sell it, that's one thing. But now I have both. Now I have to sell it on like two different storefronts.
No,
And,
I take it back.
Like,
here's the analogy.
That's just a bigger hassle.
Here's the Happy Meal analogy. You're putting a Banksy print into a Happy Meal. And so if you ever sell that Banksy print, you have to sell the Happy Meal with it, because that way McDonald's can say Happy Meals are so valuable that people are trading them. They're actually going up in value. See, we told you Happy Meals are a great investment. When it's not the Happy Meal that people want, it's the Banksy inside of it.
Yeah, but I also think you're overestimating people's desire for a Banksy. People don't want. Look, the cubes are cool, but I don't think most people want them enough to actually go through this hassle.
AC Wraith asked a very interesting question. If I buy a digital soul, I can expect an expect an AI I can plug into a sex bot to make our love real.
That's true. If you buy digital soul, that's AI. You're giving them consciousness.
And it actually it was a young who brings up a point, is that he buys all of his collectibles because he likes those collectibles. And even the amiibos that he buys, he doesn't buy them because they do anything in the games. He buys the amiibos because he likes the amiibo itself. And that's what it all comes down to.
He's doing it wrong then.
Clearly.
You should only buy collectibles for their eventual appreciation in value. Because all collectibles appreciate in value.
Was it start the AC Wraith timer?
Yeah, I guess we said something that he's supposed to look up, but he missed it, and also so did I. I'm not sure what he was supposed to look up, so no harm, AC Wraith. I don't know what you missed.
I think he was supposed to look up, trying to find what the collectible looked like.
Maybe,
but Nick found it.
Yeah.
Nick found the actual cube, what it looked like. And the cube's really cool. The cube is really cool. I would own that. But not the NFT that goes with it. I don't want to go through all the NFT bullshit to get it, because I don't look at that collectible as an investment. And here's the thing. Ubisoft keeps on wanting to make games an investment. I just want to play games. I don't want to think about like the dollar cost averaging of the value of the game that I'm buying. Or even the collector's items that I'm buying. I buy my collector's items because I own them and it gives me joy. I like to look at them. I like to have them. They make me happy. Not because I expect to ever make any money on them.
Yeah, well, I think what the whole NFT thing misses, like the whole functionally what it misunderstands is people's desire for like a unique one of a kind item.
Yeah.
Most people don't give a shit. Most people don't care about unique one of a kind items. They just want the thing that looks cool.
Yep. It's a reason why knockoff handbags make more money than original handbags as a market, because people don't necessarily want the original. I mean, it'd be nice if they had the original, but most people just want what the bag looks like. And that's why the knockoff market is so much bigger than the actual original handbag market is.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways,
I've got one more small story, and then we can get into the fun speculation.
Okay.
Hey, were you tired of hearing about Legends of Zelda? Because
hit me, just do it.
Critical Role is going to host a special one-shot sponsored by Nintendo set in the world of Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, it's cool. Last year they did a one-shot of Elden Ring, which is actually one of their funniest shows in a good time. Oh yeah, AC Ray says if you want a one-of-a-kind item, pay a local artist. Yeah,
exactly. So anyway.
But yeah, they every now and then they do like a sponsored one shot for various big games that come out. The Elden Ring one last year was really good. This Zelda one, it won't it takes place in the world, but it doesn't really have anything to do with the story. So if you're worried about spoilers for Tears of the Kingdom, don't be. They won't spoil anything about that. So yeah, it's just a cool crossover.
Mm-hmm. Blood Reaper put something in Discord, so you can check it out.
Okay.
Bitters, did you send me your email? I'm here, sitting here, loaded and ready. The trigger is cocked and ready to shoot. I just need to get the email to shoot all the popcorn at. My last item, which is sort of fun. I mean, it's not fun, but it's a thing. Sony did announce that next week on May 24th, they are going to be holding a PlayStation showcase. First PlayStation showcase they've had in better than a year, like a year and a half, which is kind of strange that it's been that long, but it's true. So the show's going to kick off at 1 p.m. Pacific time. What day is the 24th? That is going to be Wednesday. 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. UK time. It's going to run for about an hour. It's going to focus on PlayStation 5, on PSVR 2 games, and PSVR 2 games in development. They're also going to be looking at quote unquote new creations from PlayStation Studios, as well as some third party and indie games as well. They have not said what games beyond that.
So that is where the fun part comes in. We got to make some.
Is this the good?
Yeah.
All right.
Look, this is E3.
This is our E3.
This is like
E3. E3 week is about to start.
Yeah, this is the not E3 predictions.
Mm-hmm. Okay, not E3 predictions. All right, we'll do it again. Not E3. E3 predictions. Okay. Not E3 predictions.
Yeah.
Are we going to go by, do you think, developer or by just total games?
I mean, I thought we just talked about Sony and then Microsoft because
Sony,
now we know when both of their events are.
Right, because Sony's is what, the 24th. What day is Microsoft's?
June 11th, I believe.
Oh, so it's like 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later. Whoa, that's... I think Sony did that on purpose.
I think
almost a month later.
Microsoft announced it for June 11th. Because June is kind of the E3 month, and then I think Sony was waiting for that announcement to know, okay, how far ahead should we get them?
Right. Okay, so here's Sony predictions.
I think
we're going to get a PS exclusive from Kojima.
Oh yeah, we know he's working on Death Stranding 2.
I think we're going to probably get Death Stranding 2 or possibly even some other game from Kojima that's going to be a PlayStation exclusive.
I think whatever he's working on next is a Microsoft exclusive because there have been rumors of him meeting with Phil Spencer. Like he's been seen in like the Microsoft area.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think he was meeting with some people. So I think after Death Stranding 2, he's doing something with Xbox.
Okay, but I think maybe we're gonna have it this year at this event. We're going to have a Kojima exclusive to PlayStation
this year. I think for this event, Death Stranding 2 is very likely because he's definitely been filming it.
Norman's almost like leaked it pretty much.
Yeah, Norman's done it. Elle Fanning has been like tweeting things about being in it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's easy. Okay. I think we'll definitely see something for Spider-Man 2 because I think that's coming out this year and they haven't said anything about it. So it kind of feels time for them to do that. I think you'll get a little bit about Final Fantasy 16.
I was about to say they're going to give it Final Fantasy.
It's an exclusive, and it's like coming out in a month.
Yeah.
They want to hype it up.
Yeah, they're going to hype it, but it's not good. That's not really a prediction. That's almost a certainty. I would be much more surprised if they didn't mention it at that point.
Ditto.
Let's see. PlayStation. What did they say? They said run for an hour. New creations from PlayStation Studios.
So I think if I'm getting into like spicy territory,
yeah,
I think we will see the Last of Us multiplayer game. We know Naughty Dog is working on a Last of Us multiplayer game, and they've been working on it for a fair amount of time at this point. I think now's the time that they tease it. I don't think it's coming out this year. I think it's a tease for like a next year release.
Possible. Okay. But that's not a PlayStation studio.
Yeah, it is. That's Naughty Dog.
I guess that's right. But I think if PlayStation Studios not being Naughty Dog, when they say PlayStation Studios capitalized Studios,
Naughty Dog is like hardcore them.
Yeah. There's going to be something else. Gotta be something else. It's going to come from left field.
My other spicy thing, the not Naughty Dog Uncharted game. Because remember, like a couple months ago, there was that news story. There was like an ad for PlayStation, and in the ad for PlayStation, they like cycled through a bunch of exclusives. Like here's God of War, just showing images of things. This is for God of War. This is from Eternal. This is like a picture of a girl with a torch in a cave.
Right. And that looked like Lara Croft.
Yeah, but like Lara Croft isn't a PlayStation exclusive.
You're right.
But so Uncharted is. And that got a lot of people speculating.
That's right. I remember sitting there and going through that with, it's like frame by frame with you.
Mm-hmm. I think they will announce that. That'll be a left field thing.
Could they be doing something with not Assassin's Creed,
Bianca and Evil?
No. What we were just talking about, my brain just had a like total brain fart. Uncharted.
Uncharted?
Yeah. It's either multiplayer or live service.
I mean, they could. Uncharted 3 did have multiplayer. I think a lot of people forget that.
Yeah,
that was back
true. That's right. They did, didn't it? Wow. Yeah. Like it was not very big, but it was there. I remembered playing it too.
That was back in the day when everything had a multiplayer mode.
Right. But it was a very weak multiplayer mode.
It was okay. It wasn't anything grand or anything, but like.
Yeah, I remember playing the shit out of that too.
I could see that, but I think if they're doing Uncharted, they would make it a single player game. Because they're rumored to be working on the Last of Us multiplayer. They've got a Horizon multiplayer game in the works that like leaked a little bit earlier this year. Then they've got whatever Bungie is doing with Destiny. I think they're gonna ease into their multiplayer first party games. Like
I don't think that it's going to be like massive multiplayer, even big multiplayer. I'm talking about like a multiplayer, like small group co-op, 4-player co-op.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think Sony is really good at making single player story based games.
Yeah.
I think they're going to keep at that for the most part, except that they're big studios, like they're proven studios, right? Like Guerrilla Games or Naughty Dog, they're going to be allowed to kind of branch out and make a multiplayer thing.
Yeah. I guess I could see that, but I also would not be surprised if they actually had some kind of, instead of it just being a single player campaign, that there actually was a multiplayer component to the campaign. I would not surprise me in the least. Because I mean, there's nothing, especially if you have a single player game where you could have multiplayer co-op. There's no reason not to put that in there. You know,
I guess other than
it's only good. It's only extra. Yeah, it's extra work, but they also know how to do that kind of co-op multiplayer. They're already doing it for Last of Us.
But Last of Us isn't co-op. I think the multiplayer there is like team-based.
Oh, I thought it was a co-op multiplayer for some reason. Why did I think that?
So, if you remember, the
I
first
don't.
Last of Us had a multiplayer mode. The first Last of Us had a team-based multiplayer mode that was like really big on crafting, where like you were fighting another team, and the game would actually like
yes,
you had limited respawns, and the game would like take people from your friends list and name someone like that. I forget exactly what it did.
Yes, I remember that very vaguely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think their standalone multiplayer is just going to be a fleshed out version of that.
That would be
Like,
kind of cool.
But like, yeah, it's so funny to think that these things had multiplayer modes that just everyone forgot about. You remember when Tomb Raider had multiplayer?
I never really played many Tomb Raiders, so no.
It did. No one cared.
I'm looking up what other places have big predictions. So, Laptop Magazine, their prediction number 1 is Spider-Man 2 gameplay.
Yeah.
Prediction number 2 is PlayStation Cloud gaming.
Really?
Prediction number 3 is The Last of Us multiplayer trailer.
Yeah, I totally believe that.
Oh! All right, forgot about this one. Ghost of Tsushima on the PC. Yet to have happened.
I could see Ghost of Tsushima on PC. I did see a rumor that Ghost of Tsushima 2 is not going to be there.
I could see that, but they're predicting Ghost of Tsushima PC gets an autumn release date. That's their 4th prediction.
Okay.
There's a 5th prediction. We get a glimpse of what Supernatural Studios is working on.
I don't even know what Supernatural Studios is.
Let's see. One of my proudest moments here on Laptop Mag continues to be the exclusive scoop I got on the creative mind behind SSX making the new snowboarding game codenamed Project Gravity. Shortly after this piece, the team at Supernatural Studios officially partnered with a major global publisher and went into stealth mode. And there's been zero details since. This is more of a prediction that requires me to wish upon a monkey's paw while throwing salt over my shoulder and crossing all my fingers, but maybe even just a taste of what's to come with a short teaser would satiate my appetite. And the writer on this is Jason England.
I would absolutely love a spiritual successor to SSX.
Well, I mean, it was out there already. We know that was out there. And then they partnered with a major publisher, and then they haven't said anything. So we don't even know if it's PlayStation. But remember, SSX was like one of the flagship games on the early PlayStation 2.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was like really PS2 focused.
Oh God, yes. That and Time Splitters were the 2 games that I got when I got my PlayStation 2 on that first Christmas that they were out. And we played a lot of SSX. Followed by SSX Tricky. Played a lot of that too. So I could see it. Their prediction number 6, Metal Gear Solid 3 Remastered announced.
I've heard rumors of Metal Gear Solid 3 remake.
So those are some pretty solid predictions, and way better than ones that I would make. But yeah, that's a whole bunch of interesting stuff there.
Wait, Metal Gear Solid or Metal Gear Solid 3?
Metal Gear Solid 3.
Why would you remake Metal Gear Solid 3 before 1 and 2?
This list was going to stop at 5 predictions, but some last-minute news captured my imagination. Games Radar has reported on 2 things. Konami is revealing a new game in a world-loved series at Tokyo Game Show, and more interestingly, increasing reports of a remastered Metal Gear Solid trilogy. Last year,
Okay.
Konami went all out to talk about its new Silent Hill entries, including Silent Hill 2 Remake, exclusive for PS5, other prediction gameplay preview of this. And while Metal Gear Solid trilogy as a whole has been rumored, I think we'll see one game, and that's the third entry. And who knows, that may establish the basis for a Metal Gear Solid 4 remake. Please, Konami, give me what I want. I'm reading this word for word.
Yeah.
So that sounds pretty. Oh, that's
interesting.
He's put legs on it. Now, if they're actually the legs that belong there, or if they're just Ken legs on a Barbie, I don't know.
I could definitely see Konami going like, "Hey, last year was like big on Silent Hill. This year we're gonna go big on Metal Gear."
Metal Gear.
My other last prediction.
And how interesting would that be, tying that in, right, to an announcement by Kojima?
Oh,
more popcorn.
Nah, they're not getting together.
They're not getting together. No, but they would absolutely talk about you cannot not talk about Metal Gear Solid 3 without talking about Kojima, even if it upsets Konami a little bit, because it is a Kojima thing. And then, of course, follow it up by Kojima talking about his next game, Death Stranding 2.
Yeah. No, yeah. If you want to like get real messed up, put those trailers next to each other.
That's exactly what I think is going to happen. Well, I don't know if Konami would be okay with that, but that probably what's going to happen. Because where's Konami going to go? Xbox?
My hope, my prediction and hope is an announcement of Super Hot VR for PSVR 2.
Okay. That's true. We didn't talk about any of the PSVR 2, and they've said that specifically they're going to have PSVR 2 stuff.
I'm looking forward to that. And I want Super Hot for PSVR 2.
Okay.
That's my big desire.
All right. So Xbox.
Xbox is tough because I forget what they have.
They're all the Bethesda stuff.
So at this point, I actually looked up.
Well, they're definitely going to release information about Dragon Age. No question. They have to at this point.
Won't. No,
they have to.
No, they won't. Dragon Age is BioWare, not Bethesda.
You're right. God, Bethesda is Fallout.
Yeah.
They're going to have something Fallout. They're going to have something Fallout.
Oh, no, they won't. No. Well,
I think they will.
Okay. They might do something
What
with
else
Fallout.
is Bethesda working on right now?
Starfield.
Starfield. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And we can't count Starfield in the showcase because they already said there's going to be like a big old 30-minute Starfield thing.
Right. I think that they might tease something BioWare.
No,
or they might tease something Fallout. They might tease something Fallout as the next game because they're about to end, the Starfield thing.
And then they're going to work on Elder Scrolls 6. Then they're going to spend the next decade building Elder Scrolls 6. I could see them announcing something for Fallout 76. That game is still chugging along. It needs content.
Blood Reaper said it's going to be Starfield, then Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll give you Elder Scrolls.
But we're not getting a Fallout game until I'm like.
Are we going to hear about something Elder Scrolls?
No, that game doesn't exist beyond its little trailer.
Maybe Elder Scrolls Online.
Okay, that's right. I keep forgetting about the MMOs. Sure. Like I could totally see them announcing some new thing for Elder Scrolls Online and Fallout 76.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go with that.
Yeah.
But they've got to announce something for Bethesda other than Starfield. They're already they already have a game they're working on right now that we don't know about, that is not Starfield, because Starfield's about to come out. They've already got something else in the pipeline behind Starfield.
Yeah,
I think
Elder
we'll
Scrolls.
hear then we'll hear about whatever's in that pipeline.
No, he won't. No, he won't.
Yep.
No.
This is E3. This is E3.
No.
We're going to hear about Elder Scrolls. We're going to hear whatever's in the next in the pipeline from them coming up. That's going to be coming in 2 to 3 years.
No. Okay. First of all, Bethesda's going to put out Starfield this year.
Yeah.
They're not putting out another game until like I'm in my mid 40s. They're not putting out another thing for at least 5 years. Remember back when I predicted Elder Scrolls 6 in 2025?
Yeah.
That was way too generous.
No, I don't think so. And that's because Elder Scrolls Bethesda is now owned by Microsoft. They can't work at the same cadence that they were before.
Because Microsoft gonna have all those Activision games to buffer the timeline between Bethesda games.
But they don't have it now. No, I think we're going to hear about something from Bethesda that's the game after, at least teased about there's something else after. That's my prediction. We're going to hear teased. So if not, at the very least teased.
Yeah. Okay. So
about whatever's going to follow Starfield.
Okay. I don't think that. We disagree on that. But
AC Ray says you predicted 2024.
Did I? I can go get my sticky note. My sticky note is literally
GameHounds $5.95. Edie gives $0. Nick, Elder Scrolls 2024. Edie 2024 fiscal. Andrew 2023. I said fiscal, which kind of bridges.
Yeah, you took the cop-out route. And you know what? 2024, that is exceedingly generous. That is excessively, embarrassingly, stupidly generous.
All right, we'll find out.
Elder Scrolls 6 is not coming until at least 2026.
Okay.
And even then, I think I'm being generous. You know what?
595. How is that? That's almost 100 episodes ago. That's almost 2 years ago that we made that prediction.
and it's still too early. Anyways, but Bethesda is more than just the Bethesda team, right? Bethesda also owns id Software.
Oh yeah.
I have no idea what it is doing. Like they put out Doom 3, they put out Doom Eternal like several years ago, but I have no idea what they're working on now. But we do know, I forget the name of the developer, but the guys that did Wolfenstein games years ago, they teased an Indiana Jones game.
Who did Wolfenstein? I've got my Wolf. Do you still have your Wolfenstein cup?
I don't think so.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
No. Wolfenstein Cup? Who did Wolfenstein The New Order? Oh, Machine Games. That's what they're called. Yeah, so years ago, Machine Games teased Indiana Jones. I think it's likely that we see a little bit more of that. That would certainly be a big exclusive thing, like an Xbox exclusive Indiana Jones game to announce like in the summer that the movie's coming out. Actually, when does Dial of Destiny come out? Dial of Destiny is coming out June 30th. So that's like 2 weeks after
the Wolfenstein Cup. Remember these?
No.
Yeah, they filled them up with strawberry milkshakes. That was a year I was super sick.
Oh, yes. That's right.
And then I lost mine and I had to go back and say, I lost my cup. I want another cup. And they're like, I don't know. I'm like, give me another cup, please. I'm really sick and I really want it. Okay. So they gave me another one. And so this one is actually unopened.
I have absolutely no idea where that went.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, no, I still have mine. Yeah. With Papa Joe's Diner.
That's right.
They
I do
actually had
remember getting that. They had a whole diner set up.
I had a diner set up, and I was so sick. And they hit a strawberry milkshake in the back, hit the back of my throat, and I heard angels sing. It felt so good. It was like, oh, that's exactly what I needed. Exactly what I needed was that strawberry freaking milkshake. Anyway, you were saying.
Yeah, that developer. I can see them talking
Who's
about
the
their
developer?
Machine Games. I had to
Okay.
look it up. Yeah, they're making Indiana Jones, and they're making the Indiana Jones game exclusive to Xbox, and they're going to be having the showcase 2 weeks before the new Indiana Jones movie comes out.
When does the Indiana Jones movie come out?
The 30th.
Of
June
this
30th.
Oh,
Like,
and there we have it.
There's no way they can't talk about that game and tie it in somehow. Like,
Yep.
So I think they're gonna do that. Yeah, I have no idea what it is doing. Bethesda,
Unless that remember that thing from the preview and with the girl with the torch that we were suggesting might be. Oh no, that's PlayStation. Never mind.
Yeah, that's PlayStation.
AC Ray says, in Nick's defense, he has disagreed based on his sticky note before. However, I'm not sure the note was mentioned until after that episode.
I think on that episode, I wrote down that sticky note and kept it.
Do you still have it?
Yes, it's see that little end table right there?
Yeah,
it's in the box in that end table.
Man, you hold on to your sticky notes like I hold on to my Wolfenstein cups.
Only the important sticky notes.
Only the important Wolfenstein cups. All right, so yeah, Xbox. I don't know that there's gonna. I mean,
yeah. So okay, I looked up all the stuff from the Xbox showcase from 2020, and there were a couple things there that they haven't talked about since then.
Okay.
One of them is the game Avowed by Obsidian, which was kind of teased as like Obsidian Skyrim. It's like a first-person fantasy game. It takes place in the Pillars of Eternity universe, which is like Obsidian's big fantasy top-down CRPGs. And like I talked about Pillars of Eternity 2 last year and like really loving the hell out of that game.
Mm-hmm.
So Avowed, they mentioned in 2020 and have nothing since then. Fable. They teased Fable.
Oh, there's an interesting one to bring up.
They mentioned
it's about that time that they might mention Fable again. I don't know if there'll actually be anything more, but they might mention Fable again.
Yeah, right. I feel
Just
like
to,
after 2 years of nothing, it kind of feels like it deserves at least a mention.
Yeah, they're going to mention to remind you of their greatest hits.
Yeah.
Remember that number one song I had?
They announced Stalker 2, which hasn't come out, but I feel like we can give that a pass. It's understandable why Stalker 2 hasn't come out, considering it was being developed in the Ukraine.
I thought Stalker 2 came out.
No.
Ray, didn't you get Stalker? No, you got the original Stalker, and that you were trying to get rid of it. Yeah, no, I think that Stalker 2, we're just gonna. Well, they moved from Ukraine to Poland. I think they did.
Yeah, somewhere.
At the beginning of they moved from Kyiv to Warsaw.
Yeah,
I think at the very beginning of the war, so they're not as affected as they were.
Yeah, but like I can understand why it's not out, why it was delayed kind of indefinitely.
Yeah.
I could imagine them like having an announcement, maybe a new release date for Stalker 2.
Mm-hmm.
Then the other game that they haven't mentioned since then, from a studio that I've heard is kind of like stuck in development hell, is State of Decay 3.
Oh yeah, State of Decay. Yeah, I could see them mentioning something about that.
Yeah, those are the 3 games from 2020 that they have not mentioned since 2020. So I feel like they have to give at least a tiny update on all of those.
Yeah, I could see that. I could absolutely see that.
Let's see. Then I'm looking into what did they show off in 2001? They showed off Starfield, Halo Infinite, Forza. Okay, I'm sure they're probably going to show something about Forza because Forza games come out every year.
Yeah. We'll
They
see
talked
whatever the new
about
Forza is.
Diablo, Stalker, Back for Blood.
Yeah, he said he got a Stalker Call of Pripyat key. He says he still has that key if anyone wants it. So if you want a key for Stalker Call of Pripyat, he's got it and happy to give it to you.
I guess in 2021, the developer of Just Cause.
Flood Reaper says Xbox will go, yeah, we're not working on Fable. No, they will not do. They will absolutely not do that. That is like a one-hit wonder disavowing their one hit. No. They will never let Fable go. They will. A Fable game will always be in development. Always.
Yeah, I guess the developer of Just Cause announced a game called Contraband last year. So maybe we'll see more of that.
Okay.
Because they just gave us a teaser trailer last year. I guess Obsidian also had announced Outer Worlds 2. But I don't think we'll see anything about that because they just like really, really announced. It was really early to announce. Let's see. Far Cry 6, Slime Rancher, snowboarding game Shredders, Atomic Heart. That's right. They showed off a lot of Atomic Heart.
Yeah, but that's already out. So
Among Us Ascent. Yeah.
You
okay?
You really liked that, right? Or did you end up hating it at the end? I can't remember.
No, I think the ending is like goddamn awful, but the rest of the game up to that point is really fun.
That's what I remember.
And like, look, it's a terrible ending, but it also feels like a distinctly Russian ending. An ending that's like, I see how much you have struggled, and it is all for naught.
Okay. So,
okay, yeah, Avowed, Fable, Indiana Jones, Forza. What else did we mention? We disagreed about whatever Bethesda's working on. State of Decay 3. I think that's a pretty good list of possibilities. Oh, no. You know what? I'll bet Microsoft shows off. Because they want you to start associating Xbox with Activision. So I'll bet you that they show off the next Call of Duty.
I got to show you something that's very, 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 very strange.
Okay.
Not related to any of that because I've been in the background monitoring what's going on the SpaceX channel. So on SpaceX channel, Elon Musk is on the channel, like talking about the International Space Station. Let's see, is this the same one? You know what? I don't know that that's the same one. Anyway, there's this code,
a QR code?
QR code, right? That apparently he says he put out that it'll change your life. And I'm like, all right, I'm curious about this QR code, right? It's on everything, right? So I go to this QR code and I'm going to try and give it to you, pull it up here. It makes no sense to me. SpaceX.
Is it a link to this video?
No. I can't get it. Let's see, what is it? Because I'm trying to put it HTTP. Sorry. I have to put it in by hand because I don't have a camera that can scan it on my computer. SpaceX.ax2.tech. Is that all of it? Yeah. Here we go. All right. Huge crypto giveaway to the launch. Elon Musk decided to run the biggest cryptocurrency giveaway according to with launch of SpaceX Starship.
I feel like I've heard a lot of rumors and scams. Like there's
This is a total scam.
A scam about
doesn't even
Elon Musk giving away cryptocurrency. I'm kind of surprised that they were able to hijack the SpaceX streams.
Yes, they've
Get a
hijacked the
QR code
SpaceX stream.
there?
Everything is pretty simple. You make a deposit, then our system counts your bonus and automatically sends it back. It makes you can also participate without crypto. All of it makes absolutely, it's like clearly broken English across the whole thing.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, yeah, AC Wraith says that's a known scam.
Yes,
but the fact that they were able to get the QR code,
they got the QR code, and not just on one of the streams. It's on all of the streams. Like, I'm going to multiple streams, and it's on all of them.
Huh.
Like, this is SpaceX Live. This is SpaceX, right? You know what? I bet you it's not. That's not the real one. It's not the real one. Nope, it is not. It looks like SpaceX. SpaceX Live 501. Yeah, no, this is not the right SpaceX. It just looks like it might be the right SpaceX. Let's see. Let me go to my history here and see if I can.
What's that second one? That second one is just SpaceX.
No.
No,
Today
today's
that's
SpaceX.
definitely the scam company, the scam link. Let me see if I can find where the one that I was watching earlier.
Chunderbox says fake parking tickets is the newest scam to hit Australia.
Yeah.
I wonder, do we have those here?
No, we absolutely do.
Hmm.
We absolutely do. Okay, that's not real.
If you want to get back to games,
Yeah, go ahead and get back to games. I'm deep diving into this what's going on here.
Ezio Helsing said the Avatar game is coming out in December 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, I thought that was earlier. But yeah, you're right. Ubisoft is making that Avatar game. They've got to show it off at some point.
Yep.
Who do you think they would show it off at? Sony or Microsoft? Actually, Ubisoft also has like Assassin's Creed Mirage. Wait, is Ubisoft doing their own event?
Ubisoft is doing its own event. Always does.
Okay. So that's where they'll show their things. That they won't show something at Sony.
Right. I'm looking to see. Yeah, SpaceX is nothing live. So those guys actually put up those live streams with old stuff, and then okay, got it. Just strange. I was trying to go into see if I can find what they're doing now with the launch, like checking in with where the launch is. Have they connected with the International Space Station? Blah 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 blah. And of course, I go to live streams, and those things come up, and they're all fake. All fake. Interesting. Because by the way, here's the real SpaceX. That's the real SpaceX right there. If it doesn't have 6.5 million subscribers, it's not the real one. And this is their website or their channel page.
Oh, I'm looking at predictions from other people.
Uh-huh.
Someone said that the Astro's Playroom developer hasn't done anything for a while.
The thing is that the original Astro's Playroom on PlayStation PS4 was, or was it PS3 or PS4?
No, it was Astro's Playroom was PS5, right? Because it used the controller.
Right, but it also was there was Astro's Playroom on PS4.
Oh yeah, there was a VR game.
There was a VR game, but there was also not a VR game that was on place. That was the first time that I ever got. That was the first moment that Kevin actually realized how difficult it was as a woman to be a gamer, because we had the camera on, and then once, like, because it was like the little cameras. It was not VR; it was AR with this camera, and you could have all the little Astros at your feet, and you could play with them, and people could come in and watch you.
Yes,
And then
the
people would come in
PlayStation
and watch and like
camera.
told me to, show me your tits. And my husband was literally sitting next to me on the screen. He could see me. And he's like, do you get this stuff all the time? I'm like, yeah, I do. And he's like, that moment of recognition of like, oh, it really is difficult to be a female on camera. It's like, yeah, that's why I don't have my camera on ever, because of that. And he's like, and that was the last time I ever played it. So Astros had that original game with that tech that was really cool, and that ability, that AR ability, before even PlayStation, Pokemon Go had it. And then they did it and didn't do anything. And then they did the Astros Playroom for PlayStation 5, which is actually a really, really, really awesome game. But then they don't do anything after that. I don't think Astros Playroom is going to do anything. 5, 6.
Okay, I'm
I
good
notice
now.
you will sneeze less if I count them. Chris Salazar, they dock tomorrow morning after 9 a.m. with the space station. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, the real stream has no QR code. All right, so keep with your thing. And one of the things I should have done when I got this stupid cup is go to the bathroom. So I'll be right back when I go to the bathroom.
Okay. So yeah, someone I'm looking at predictions from Push Square, which is clearly a PlayStation website. Someone had predicted Astro's Playroom. A lot of Japanese games that I don't recognize. Someone made a rather bold prediction that they will do a Bloodborne remake. Just like a simple 4K, or a simple like PS5 upgrade to Bloodborne, which I think that would be awesome, but I can't let myself get those hopes up, A Bloodborne 2 would be spectacular, but From Software is kind of off doing they've got their hands full doing a whole bunch of other stuff. They're not working on Bloodborne. I think that was really just a one-off thing that's kind of never coming back, but it was good while it lasted. Someone else at Push Square has a kind of surprising prediction that Stellar Blade will quietly steal the show. And I remember Stellar Blade being like kind of a third-person action game that it looked very Japanese in that. Oh wait, it's not Japanese, it's Korean. But it's one of those games that has like they put a lot of effort into boob physics.
What? Where did I just walk in on?
So someone from Push Square predicted that Stellar Blade will quietly steal the show. And Stellar Blade, I only remember as being like a third-person action game that was like, oh, you put a lot of effort into boob physics. It's got a very anime-esque female character jumping around like a very photorealistic environment, but she just looks like really cartoony in a way that stands out, in a way that I thought was awkward.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how much I agree with this person's assumption that Stellar Blade is going to steal the show.
Yeah, probably not. Boob physics rarely. Actually, I take it back. Boob physics frequently steals the show, so that might be the reason why it will. Just so you're aware, Nick, I know you want to do a lot more of these predictions. But I'm gonna point out.
I think I'm
gonna point out this what's going on right here. See this line that's starting to happen right here?
We've got to get to Angel Edie.
Yeah, it's going to slowly start working forward, and actually very quickly. I mean, it's already gone from here to here just in that amount of time that we were talking. You were talking earlier, and yeah, it's starting to happen. So we need to close this show out because I don't want to have Angel eating again.
Okay. All the other things. Let's see. A couple Xbox ones.
Are we going to hear anything about Skull and Bones with Ubisoft?
Fuck no. Look, Ubisoft has nothing except Ghost Recon, Rainbow Six, and Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Other than that, they have nothing.
Are we going to hear anything about Assassin's Creed? Possibly.
Yes, I think
because it's been a while since we've had an Assassin's Creed.
I think we will totally see something about Assassin's Creed at Ubisoft's show.
And more importantly, what are we going to be playing tonight? Chris, what are we going to play tonight? Are we going to be playing Battlefield? Are we going to be playing Extraction?
Get Chris to download Chivalry.
Chivalry. Chris would hate Chivalry. I don't know. Chris might like Chivalry. Go if you want to play Chivalry tonight, Chris. You might want to go now and start playing the tutorial because you're going to need some time with that.
Yeah.
Even with the tutorials, you're not going to do well, but you're going to do better with the tutorial. The new Lords of the Fallen trailer looks good, according to Chenderbox. Looks spectacular. Not that I'm any good at any Souls game.
Yes, I saw that latest trailer. I agree. I think that looks really cool.
Chris says, I mean, we have to play Battlefield? Well, what the F is Chivalry? Oh. You have an Xbox. It's on. Go download it right now and go through the tutorial.
Pass? That's right. It is on.
It is a Game Pass. It is a Game Pass. Go download it right now. It is the most un-Chris game I could think of. Like, it is not a Chris game, but it's not even really an ED game, but it's a hell of a lot of fun.
Yep.
The point is, you're never going to be good at it. You're just never going to be good at it ever. But you're going to have a lot of fun failing a lot. All right. So anything else before we want to close out the show? And yeah, I probably will live stream it. What time you want to do it? Like 8? Actually, what time can Chris do it? Because remember, Chris is 3 hours ahead of us. Make it 7. Because that's 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock his time is 7.
I could probably do that. Lords of the Fallen Untitled Remake Edition, because they literally made a game in the genre years ago with the same title. Okay, just like a quick story. Lords of the Fallen comes out. It's okay. It doesn't really set the world on fire. Developer does kind of well. Years later, they announced the remake, a reboot, The Lords of the Fallen. And then at some point, they rename that game Lords of the Fallen and take out the. So I don't know what the fuck this game is.
Next one is going to be The Lords of the Fallen 2, 1.
No, it's going to be Lords of the Fallen, The Lords of the Fallen.
And the next one is going to be Lords of the Fallen, A Lords of the Fallen.
Mm-hmm. A Lord of the Fallen, These Lords of the Fallen.
Next one to be Those Lords of the Fallen.
Yeah.
Just go through all of the pronouns.
Which Lords of the Fallen?
Where Lords of the Fallen? How Lords of the Fallen?
Mm-hmm. How fallen the Lords of.
All right, so AC Wraith has given us the recap. Not E3.
Both of us say Death Stranding 2 and Spider-Man 2, Final Fantasy 16, Fable, Forza,
Question.
Nick, Last of Us multiplayer, Uncharted, not Naughty Dog, Machine Games, Indiana Jones, Avowed, Contraband, Call of Duty, Assassin's Creed, No Outer Worlds 2, Edie, Uncharted multiplayer or live service, Metal Gear Solid 3 remake, followed by Death Stranding 2 with Kojima, Fallout tease, new Bethesda.
Yeah. And let's also not forget GTA, unrelated to these is the GTA.
Oh yeah, but I don't think
it's going to be 2 separate games.
Okay, yeah, that's a separate prediction from the the show
earlier. Yeah. This was a prediction fantastic today.
Yeah.
Edie, look at memes. I will. But you see where we're at right now? We're here. We're here. There's so many games that have to do with like daylight getting onto the I'm going to start burning. So we need to go. So we will be on, say, 7-ish, Nick, if you want to eat dinner a little earlier than you normally do.
Yeah, okay. I can do it. Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. So 7. So I will definitely live stream it. And yes, we'll probably do Battlefield, though we might try Chivalry because depending on how angry Chris is that we made him download it. All right, everyone. On that note, let's close this out. You've been listening to GameHounds, episode 679. We did record this on Sunday, May 21st, 2023. I'm Edie Sellers. With me is Nick DiNicola. Ways to get a hold of us. GameHounds.net is our website. GameHounds@gmail.com is our email. We record the show live every Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and Twitch. On YouTube, we are GameHounds Vids, VIDS is in videos. And on Twitch, we are the GameHounds. We'd love to have you join us if you're listening to us on the audio show. We would love to have you come here and visit us. And if you are on the audio show, thank you so much. We had a couple of new visitors, new watchers. Thank you so much for being here. If you're still here, we would love to have you come back next week. You were awesome. And wishing Godspeed and good health and safety to the crew of the Dragon spaceship. I hope you get there safely, but
yeah,
crossing our fingers.
Don't click on QR codes.
Don't click on QR codes. Everyone have a great week. We will talk to you next week. Also, don't forget, we are Patreon funded. $1 a month is all we ask. We're not looking to get rich on this. We just looking to pay for some bills. So it's $25 a show if you do the math in general. 25 cents a show. Great deal. We would love to have you do that. We're at patreon.com/GameHounds for our Patreon. And we'd love to have you be a member of our patrons. By the way, our patrons are Tori Louise, Peter Camo, Eric Baker, Anonymous Pist, and Andy Shao. You do make all of this audio and all the video possible on this. Were it not for you, we would not be here right now. So thank you so much. And again, if you would like to join it, it is patreon.com/GameHounds. Also, don't forget our Discord. And yeah, bidders, if you're still here, send me your email. I need to send you some popcorn. The Twitter or the Discord server on the bottom, that's where we are all the time. That's where I'm going to be in a second to look at the memes. Nick, thanks for the show. Everybody in the chat room, thank you for the show. Have a great time. Look, I'm almost there. I'm literally trying to beat daylight right now. I'm dead by daylight, as it were. Have a great week, everyone. We will talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye.
And we're out. Okay. Everybody, I'm going to go because otherwise I am going to blow out your screens in a couple of minutes. So we'll see you at about 7:30 Pacific time, which is in 2 hours and 15 minutes ish, if not a little sooner, because I'm probably going to be on in a little sooner. I'm just going to make a batch of chili and then start playing. Have a great week. Thanks so much for joining us. And again, I want to say thank you to the few people that were here that were new. Obviously, Chris, not new, but you're here regularly. It's so good to have you. It's awesome to see you.
Yeah, Chris, there was BZ something.
Yes.
And then there was
Yes.
Something that started with N and O.
Yes, N and O and B and Z. We like you, and please come back next week. We will talk to you then. We're, normally just as goofy as we are, but to be 100%, hopefully less.
No mad knots.
No
That's
mad
what it
knots.
was.
Yep. Bye, Chunder. Bye, Chaos. Bye, everybody else. And of course, thank you to AC Wraith, our link bitch. You absolutely are the hardest working person on this show. That says a lot about how little we work.
Oh yeah, I don't give a shit about this show.
Because Nick does nothing. Nick
Nope,
does nothing. I do a little more than nothing. AC Wraith carries the freaking show. So
I
thank
just
you
do
for
this
being
as an
that
excuse
person.
to hang out with cats.
Everyone.
I didn't quite catch that.
Okay. Yeah. What? No, Siri, I'm not going to say it again. Fuck off. So,
Respond to that.
see you, everyone. Bye.